This town is Omaha, Nebraska. Since 1950, the road to college baseball's national championship has ended here. It's a destination the LSU Tigers have reached on many occasions, and 5 times they've left with a national title. For the Virginia Cavaliers, the ride to Rosenblatt is a new experience, but it's a sweet return for their head coach. Brian O'Connor is an Omaha native, hoping for his ultimate career moment back in his hometown. Capital One presents ESPN's coverage of the College World Series. Tonight, the second game of day one, Virginia out of the ACC versus LSU of the SEC. We got started earlier today in Bracket 1, and Arkansas took the series opener, knocking off Cal State Fullerton. Our game tonight is the other Bracket 1 matchup, and tomorrow, all 4 teams in Bracket 2 are in action. Good evening, everybody. Mike Patrick along with Oral Hershiser. It's great to have you with us. This is day 1 of a 12-day grind here in Omaha. We expect to see great players, great teams, and best of all, great baseball.
Yeah, a lot of excitement here. I had a chance to mingle with through the Fan Fest. It's unbelievable the passion that is here. The fans signing autographs down there. They're going to be really loud, and we're going to have some great baseball.
Well, LSU comes in here as the #1 team in the country. They have the best record in NCAA baseball, and if you're going to pick a favorite, this wouldn't be a bad choice.
Yeah, and they've got 2 great stars on this team are going to lead them. In right field, Jared Mitchell's an outstanding athlete. This is a world-class athlete, drafted in the first round by the White Sox, the 23rd pick overall. He can run, he can fly, and he's a 2-sport star. Football, first time this year, spring, didn't have to go to football practice, went into baseball. And then in the third hole, Blake Dean, Mr. Clutch. This guy last year, a walk-off 3-run double against Rice, kept LSU alive. And this team in itself has experienced a lot of things. They are clutch, they're on top of it, and they've got 2 great stars leading them.
Virginia is in Omaha for the College World Series for the first time ever, and they arguably had the toughest road to get here. They had to go to the regional at UC Irvine, and then they had to go to the super regional at Ole Miss. They're battle tested.
They are battle tested, and they're led by a freshman. Danny Holtzen on the mound today. A left-handed freshman is making the big start. Friday night starter for Virginia, a freshman, and you see at the top there on that little baseball card, 333 average. Well, Mike, did I say freshman? Did I say third hitter? Did I say starting first baseman? This kid does it all, and as a freshman, he's done it all and led them. He's going to be on the mound. He's got an outstanding changeup for Virginia.
A close friendship will be put on hold tonight. Paul Maneri and Brian O'Connor, who coached together for 9 years at Notre Dame, will be rivals, at least for a few hours. It's day 1 in Omaha. Welcome back to this town.
This night, this crowd, come on, put 'em up, let me hear it loud. This town, this city, this ground, stand up on your feet, put your worry down. Come on, y'all, let's take this town. We could be anywhere.
The NCAA College World Series is presented on ESPN by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Coca-Cola Zero. Real Coke taste and 0 calories. And freecreditreport.com. Stay on top of your credit score and credit report at freecreditreport.com.
Welcome back to Omaha for the College World Series, and right now our first opportunity to talk with Aaron Andrews. Aaron.
Hi, Mike. Thanks so much. Well, it's the big storyline for tonight's game. Mentor versus his protege. Now, while LSU's Paul Maneri stands in one dugout and Virginia's Brian O'Connor stands in another, they were actually sharing a dugout for 9 seasons in South Bend. O'Connor was Maneri's top assistant with the Fighting Irish, and while the two built a very strong Notre Dame program, they also developed a very close relationship that still continues today.
Brian O'Connor deserves as much credit as anybody for the success we had during those years at Notre Dame.
I'll tell you, when you work side by side for somebody like we did for 9 years at Notre Dame, when someone gives you their start in coaching like he did with me at the age of 23, he's my mentor.
We made a pact the day he left for Virginia that we would not play each other unless the NCAA forced us to.
Here it is now on the greatest stage in college baseball. So if it happens to be in the College World Series, so be it.
Mike, Coach O'Connor has said that Paul Mainieri means everything to him, and he didn't know how he would react when the two shook hands. They actually ended up giving a nice little hug out there, but I got to tell you, this friendship probably goes out the window. These SEC fans, these Tiger fans, it kind of sounds a little bit like a football game right now, so I got to think they put their coaching hat on and their friend hat maybe to the side for a little bit.
Well, Aaron, you got to believe that they hope this is the only time they will play each other and that it doesn't happen again, but they are great friends. Thanks very much. Let's take a look at this Virginia Cavalier batting order. They come in 48, 13, and 1. And here's the way they'll line up. Parker, Gosling, Hultzen, who's the starting pitcher in the DH tonight, Grovat, Proscia, Cannon, Hicks, Valdez, and Werman. And Parker is not your normal leadoff hitter.
No, he started out there in the leadoff hole. The power started to come. He gained some weight. He got stronger. And Coach O'Connor just did not want to move him from that hole with 16 home runs. He got hot. He said, you know what, I'm going to leave him alone. Hitters are psychological. They're just hitters. They worry. They wonder where they're hitting, and then they go from there. They left him alone.
Anthony Renato has really come into his own in his sophomore season. He had elbow tendonitis a year ago. He has blossomed this season.
That's a big, strong young man. He throws the ball downhill. He's got a good breaking ball, and he can handle the pressure of the big game. That's why he's out there.
It is a perfect night here in Omaha. Cool, little breeze. Sun about an hour and a half from going down. Nice crowd, people still filing in. Had a couple of days of rain before, but just as we have been blessed in years past, as soon as the series is ready to start, the sun comes out, the rain goes away, and we can play ball. Parker, a 6'4" sophomore from Stafford, Virginia, leads this club in home runs as the leadoff man with 16. Swing and a miss on the opening pitch from Anthony Renato.
I tell you what, it always creates a little anxiety in a pitcher when you know the leadoff guy can go deep. You're looking for your release point, where you throw, your strike zone, and you got a guy up there, if you make one mistake, can put you on your heels with a home run.
What's amazing about this kid is he did not have any home runs last year, and he has 16 to lead the club this season. Gained 20 pounds in the weight room in the offseason, and that's what it took to make him a power leadoff hitter rather than a singles hitter.
So they made arrangements for him to go out and play summer ball, and he said, no, coach, I think I need to stay here in Charlottesville and lift weights, get stronger. His plan worked out better than going to play more baseball.
Sure did. 2-2 on the opening batter, Jarrett Parker, 6'4", 205, the starting center fielder, and a tremendous defensive player. Swing and a miss, and Renato starts the game with a strikeout. For LSU, a solid defensive lineup. Shrimp in left, Matuk with a great arm in center, and Mitchell, who's a world-class athlete, in right around the infield. It's Helenihi Nola, a superb shortstop, Mayhew and Ochinko, and Micah Gibbs is the starting catcher, one of the best in the country. Phil Gosling, who had his moment in the sun in the regionals against Steven Strasburg, the highly respected #1 draft choice overall. He took him deep in the first inning. And that's not easy.
Boosts the team's confidence when somebody's supposed to come in and beat you handily, and a guy gets a home run in the very first inning. It got him set for the tournament.
Gosling was hardly awed against Strasburg in San Diego State. The second hitter of the game took Strasburg deep. It was his 6th homer of the season. Most people are content to get a loud foul off of Strasburg. There's a fastball poured in there. And he is in the audience tonight. And we'll talk to him in the second inning. Aaron Andrews has him spotted. Another fastball in there for a called strike at 90 miles an hour from Anthony Renato. Gosselin hitting .314. He's driven in 63 runs from that 2-hole, and he gets into this one, sends it deep down the left field line, and it twists foul.
I tell you what, Gosselin's got some quick hands inside against Strasburg on the replay of the home run that he hit. He did a great job with quick hips and pulls his hands in on this one too. He does the same thing. He short arms it. He kind of crocodile arms that ball to get the barrel, the head of the bat on the ball. That is a great approach because you can cover the outside pitch, and then if it happens to be inside, you misread or runs in on you, you can crocodile arm it and get the barrel of the bat. It's a nice swing.
Down the middle, chopped to short, and Nola, who has been inserted into the lineup at shortstop. Gold glove kind of skills, throws him out for the second inning, or the second out of the inning. And Danny Hultzen, who does everything for this club. He's the starting pitcher tonight, DH, first baseman. Talented young man out of Bethesda, Maryland, who won the Freshman of the Year award in the ACC. And Brian O'Connor said you have to be special to be a #1 pitcher and a 3-hole hitter, and special he is.
Well, special not only with his skills, but his character that he's shown so far. I talked to Coach O'Connor. They take an elevator ride up for the post-game interview. He said, you know what? I might be the star going up there, but I'll still take the stairs. Coach offered him the elevator. He said, no, I took him when I got here. I'll take him the whole way on time I'm here.
And he wasn't trying to tell anybody how, that he's different. He was just trying to say, this is the way I do it, and I don't want to change just because somebody is going to hand me a privilege. I want to do it the way I've always done it. The coaches love to hear that stuff. Two balls and 2 strikes to Hultzen, who's hitting .333 coming in. Slaps it toward third. Kalanihi across. 1-2-3 inning for Anthony Renato and the Tigers of LSU, the #1 team in the country in most of the polls. Nothing, bottom of the first inning at the College World Series. It's an opening round game, Virginia and LSU. Let's take a look at the Tigers' batting order today. DJ LeMahieu will lead it off and play second base. Then Schimpf, Dean, Gibbs, Matuk, Ochinko, Jared Mitchell, Kalanihi, and Austin Nola. Schimpf, pretty good second place hitter.
Yeah, you got 19 home runs here. You got 16 in the leadoff spot on the other side. You got 19 in the 2-hole here. He's a 5th rounder from Toronto. He's got a power in that 2-hole, and he can run. He's very adept at stealing third base. So not only is he going to hit gap to gap and over the fence, but he can steal some bags.
This is Hultzen, who has won 9 of 10 decisions this year with a sparkling ERA of 2.08. #1 among ACC starters this year.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's a hard-throwing lefty. The changeup is outstanding, and that is really what carried him through the year. This is a kid starting at first base, batting third, sprinted down to first on his ground out to end this inning. You better have a changeup when you don't have the fastball because you're a little winded.
LeMahieu out of Michigan, highly recruited.
Yeah, we got that. All right, we're done.
Hitting .340, that leads the team. And was the second-round pick of the Cubs, another LSU infielder taken by the Baby Bears. Inside and very tight to LeMahieu for ball 1.
LeMahieu, a long, lanky second baseman. Started at shortstop this year, and boy, did they make, Paul Mainieri made some wholesale changes on his defense that we'll go through later, but I'll tell you what, they scrambled it up to improve, and they brought him here to Omaha. He was the shortstop. They moved him to second. They brought a new shortstop in. They moved the second baseman to left field. They were going all over, Mike.
And they improved dramatically. It's, you know, a lot of guys would have chosen to play it safe. We have a good record. We're going to the NCAA. Let's not mess with anything. He just wanted to get better, and it worked. And hats off to him. Strike on the inside corner. 2 balls and 2 strikes to DJ LeMahieu. Fouled this one out of play. LSU getting back to Omaha in the College World Series in the final year of Skip Bertman's tenure as athletic director at LSU. Brought them here so many times, was a fixture in Omaha, and won many, many championships with guys who could hit 450-foot shots up against the scoreboard, over the pavilion and left. To just monster balls what they played.
That's before they probably had regulations on the springiness of a aluminum bat.
Absolutely. They had launch speeds on those babies. Breaking ball misses inside, and it's 3-2 to the leadoff.
Talking to Brian O'Connor before the game about Holtzman, and you see that stellar record that Brian's had there. I'll tell you, he's watching this young freshman on the mound, the innings, the work. He said he started out the year 94, 95. He's dropped down. There's a lot of wear and tear on that young body, getting used to this long season. I'll tell you what, there's some adrenaline running through it right now. 92 here in Omaha.
Yeah, there was some giddy up on that one for the first out for LSU. The defense for the Cavaliers, 25th in the NCAA in fielding percentage. Gosselin inserted into left field. Parker, a great one in center. Grovat around the infield. Proshik, Cannon, Hicks at first base. Valdez is the catcher, and he was the most outstanding player in the Irvine Regional.
Yeah, that's it.
Schimpf facing a left-hander. He was a 5th-round pick this year by Toronto. He's a Louisiana product from Covington. 19 home runs, 335. Fly to left. Gosselin almost in his tracks for the second out of the inning. Now here's Blake Dean. We showed you his heroics from a year ago. Junior from Crestview, Florida. Spanked that 3-run double off the left field wall to win a game here in Omaha a season ago. 2 outs and nobody on for the 3-hole hitter.
Little Reggie Jackson resemblance as far as left-handed hitter, but the straw that stirs the drink for LSU. They say when he goes, their offense really goes.
High and outside, 1-1 to Dean. Kid who has very good plate discipline. Walked 45 times this year.
When you think about the crowds they play in front of an LSU, you want a guy that has a nice, calm approach, doesn't get himself out. 9,600 they average at LSU in home games.
This one is smoked deep right. It will go to the wall, and Dean is on his way to second in there easily with a stand-up double. They were not playing him to pull, and he laced it.
Well, last year's double that scored 3 that had them a walk-off win against Rice was to left field, and now look at him turn on that ball this year. Great job showing the bat speed and the quick hips. Actually, Virginia's defense had him shifted around to left, and he just lined that ball down the right field line.
Micah Gibbs, the catcher, stands in with a runner in scoring position. 2 out here in the first. Gibbs has driven in 39 runs this year. Switch hitter from Pflugerville, Texas. It is so important if you can get a lead out here. It puts a lot of pressure in a double elimination tournament on the other team. They start to feel it immediately. Guy with a lot of raw power.
Skipper Paul Maneri thinks of everything, and to remind scouts of what kind of player this is, that 33 on Gibbs' back is to remind them of Jason Varitek and what kind of captain leader this young man is, the way he handles the pitching staff and leads this team from behind the plate.
Coaches don't miss much, do they?
Baseball managers are pretty detail oriented.
Yes, they are.
And that man right there, he's like a little general, but he's very, very low key. He's soft-spoken Southern gentleman.
Well, it is a detail sport.
I have a feeling there's some intensity there too, though, behind the scenes of that soft-spokenness. There's a little fire in there because he gets a lot out of his players, and he was telling us there's 9 people that have either played or coached at Notre Dame here in this year's College World Series. That's quite a pedigree of people that he has touched.
That were involved one way or another in Notre Dame baseball while he was there. Pretty good coaching tree. This one lined toward the gap in right center. It'll be in there for a base hit and get the run home. As Dean scores easily on Gibbs' shot to right center. Grovat thought he might have a play on it, but couldn't get there.
Mike, he does a nice job just putting the bat on the ball and giving himself a chance. A little odd route out there by Grovat. Kind of thinks it's going to be hit better than it is, then comes in. If he breaks in on an angle right there, being a left-handed thrower, that being his glove side, he might have had a shot at that ball, but the route took him away from it.
That'll get Mikey Matuk to the plate with a runner at first and 2 out. Another freshman who has had an outstanding year and was the tournament MVP in the Southeastern Conference out of Lafayette, Louisiana. He hit .455 in that tournament. Pops this one down the right field line. Could be trouble, and it is. A base hit. There will be runners at first and third. So Matuk with a blooper that gets Gibbs to third. And now runners at first and third, 2 outs.
Well, if this is a wood bat, it's probably broken. No, it was off the end. And a wood bat, it's probably still a hit. Kind of cued it off there. Kind of pulling a ball that's away. Poor swing, turns out to be a hit. Baseball probabilities in LSU's favor right now.
You pitchers love those, don't you?
No.
Very, very frustrating. Well, they say everything equals out. I mean, the next time you come up, you get a screaming line drive right at somebody. But at the time, it certainly doesn't seem that way. And now they want to come out. I think they want to make sure that Holtzen, the freshman, is not too shaken by that little bloop single. The Cavaliers pitching has been nothing short of sensational. 3.19 is the best in the ACC, 3rd in the country, and hits allowed per 9 innings, 2nd in the country, strikeouts 10th. The pitching has just been magnificent for this club, and even better in postseason than those numbers.
It would be tough to be that gentleman's pitching coach. He was the pitching coach for Paul Maneri on the other side for 9 years at Notre Dame. So you have big shoes to fill, and you've got somebody looking over your shoulder all the time that knows what goes on that little hill out in the middle.
And one of the guys that Brian O'Connor recruited was Brad Lidge. Turned out pretty well as a closer. Ochenko stands in with a .330 average and 50 runs driven in this year. LSU trying to build on a one-run lead. It's another draft pick. Ochenko, 11th round to Toronto. Breaking ball hangs outside.
Well, I'm sure they went out there and they were letting Danny know there might be a double steal here. You never know in college ball what they're going to try and pull with 2 outs.
Holtzen not showing the command he has had most of the year. Coming into this game, he had struck out 95 in 86 innings and walked only 27. He's thrown a lot of pitches here in the first inning.
He's doing a good job right there. Kind of understood himself, walked around, took a few deep breaths and said, I'm not my best yet. I got to figure this out.
Foul tipped into the glove of catcher Franco Valdez. 2 balls and a strike.
He's given up those last 3 pitches all in the same place. 2 changeups, breaking balls high and away. Kind of tells me he's got a little anxiety there because he's trying to peak almost, pull his head and his body out before he's done throwing the ball, and that's going to leave the ball up.
The freshman has already delivered 25 pitches here in the first inning. Two and 1 to Ochenko. Gibbs at third, Matuk at first. Another throw over.
When you're not completely confident about throwing the ball home, one of the best things is to just go through a couple pickoffs, get the nerves out, find your release point, deliver it when you're ready.
Again, high and away.
He's just got to wait about a heartbeat after his front foot lands. Right now, he's kind of throwing the ball right before the front foot lands. He's not really fully getting into that front foot and getting down through and kind of popping out of the delivery. You see that kind of peekaboo look there at the end where he arches his back. You'd like to see him take that head in a downward angle down into the catcher's glove. Really finish going downhill instead of popping up.
Behind in the count, 3-1 to Ochenko. Now full at 3-2.
That was a little better right there, that delivery.
The freshman just trying to get out of this opening inning without any more damage. He's already down 1-0. A couple of balls hard hit off of him. The last one was not, that dropped for a dink base hit. Struck him out. Fastball inside. 2 runners stranded. A run is home. And at the end of 1, LSU has the lead here in the College World Series. Back at the College World Series, 1-0 LSU, second inning. Steven Strasburg was the #1 pick in the Major League Baseball draft this year. He's considered by many to be the greatest pitcher college baseball has ever seen. In the UC Irvine Regional, Virginia got an up-close look at this phenom.
Everything that I heard about him, he lived up to it. I mean, he had a great fastball, great command. I think that was his biggest thing. He had a great curveball. He could paint the black inside, outside, wherever he wanted it. He could hit it.
Steven Strasburg is the best pitcher that I have seen in my time as a player and coach in college baseball. We were going to go out and be aggressive, battle him. Fortunately, Phil Gosselin hit a solo home run off of him in the first inning, and from then on, our guys battled him all the way through.
The home run by Gosselin propelled Virginia to a 5-1 win in that opener of the NCAA tournament. The defeat was Strasburg's only loss of the 2009 season. And I thought it was fascinating when they were talking about how they tried to simulate the speed and the quickness that you had to swing against Strasburg. They took their pitching machine and they put it 30 feet from home plate, cranked it up to the max and let it go. Try to hit this, guys. This ball hit down into the corner and foul. Just foul. Schimpf had a play on it with the wall closing in on him. Let's see if it was a foul ball. Third base umpire Darren Seeley going down the left field line.
My naked eyes, I thought it was fair.
Oh,
it is.
It is by foot.
Even replace your divot down there. They could, if we were playing clay court tennis right here, all we do is point at the divot. But that ball is in there. Unfortunately for LSU, the uniform blocks it.
It's screened. It sure did.
It gets screened out on it.
The umpire is running right down the left field line, and what he sees is the ball dropping behind those white pants, and I mean literally behind it.
Right.
And he does not have, obviously being at third base, does not have a great look at it.
Well, he made great hustle. You see the mark there. I'm going to telestrate the mark. It's right there. He had great hustle and great position. He just got blocked out. He was all the way down the line. He was running down there. He calmed his eyes and set to see it. But he was definitely blocked out.
So Grovat back at the plate would have easily had a double on that ball that Schimpf could not come up with. Tough play down in that corner. Grovat from New Jersey, first team All-ACC as a right fielder this year. Hit .365, that leads the club. Line drive past the diving third baseman Helenihi.
It didn't
So
cost him an
Grovat
out.
actually has 2 hits in his bat.
He's batting 2,000.
Yeah.
It didn't cost him an out. It cost him a couple bases.
So Grovat adds to his league leading or team leading 365 average, and Procia, the freshman from Suffern, New Jersey, or Suffern, New York, will stand in. He hit .332 with 9 home runs and 57 driven in. Popped foul behind the plate, and that will get back in the seats.
You know, Mike, that hit by Grovat, you know, that could have really helped them emotionally, because they just go out there, they give up a run, their freshman pitcher, they get a bad call from the umpire where they could have had a triple and had an easy routine run to get back in the game right away, and then it doesn't turn into an out. He gets a hit again. So it really keeps Virginia emotionally in this game right now, not on their heels. Well, the sun has come in and out, but when it comes out, we have shadows. And we talk about Steven Strasburg and his hitting 100 or over 100 miles an hour. Well, 92 to 93 in the shadows can feel like 100 to a hitter.
High fastball 1-1 to Steven Procia. He was also a high school football star, played on the state championship team at Don Bosco Prep, very famous high school program in New Jersey.
Yeah, Mike, we talked about Steven Strasburg and how Virginia beat him with the big 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Well, they didn't get all 5 runs in that 5-1 victory off of Strasburg. He only gave up 2 runs in 7 innings, gave up 8 hits, but he struck out 15. So this Virginia team knows how to battle.
Hit hard, but right at the left fielder, and Schimpf makes the catch for the first out. Let's take you back to Brian O'Connor and his conversation with the home plate umpire Steve Manders after that call.
I had to take a second look at it, make sure, but it went to the left of the line. It went to the left of the line, from what I can see.
Are you sure?
From what I can see, it went left. It definitely went left of the line. It came down, went past his glove. It never touched his glove. That's what I was looking for first.
And that was, excuse me, third base umpire Darren Seeley who made the call.
You know, in some ways, it sounded like Mr. Seeley was in code saying, I missed it. From what I could see, from what I could see. Kind of like, don't get riled up. I can't reverse the call, but from what I could see. So there was definitely a clarifier there. And he had a really kind of a great attitude about it, explaining it.
It was a very, very difficult call for him to make. You could tell from his angle he was screened. He didn't have the advantage of the camera angle that we have.
And that could have been a hint that, do you want help? And then O'Connor could have said,
sure.
Do you think you were blocked out? Do you want help?
Tyler Cannon from one of my favorite places, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. How can you not like a hometown of Pigeon Forge? Cannon hitting .339, first team all ACC shortstop. Jammed him with a fastball. Virginia trying to get back in this game, down 1 run in the second.
We've been talking about the shadows when the sun's out. Check out the ball. You try and hit this. You're trying to pick up a white something in the light. Oh, and then it goes dark on you. And that's why high fastballs are the easiest thing to hit in the shadows, because they start at the same height that they end up. When you have good movement on a low pitch or the breaking stuff that you can't pick up the spin, that's what's hard to hit in the shadows.
That one's high and away, and a base on balls to Tyler Cannon to put runners at first and second.
Used to always talk to my hitters after they were up there in the shadows and say, what are you having a tough time picking up right now? How's the background? So they give me some clues on which pitches would be the toughest for the opposing hitters to see.
What major league parks did you pitch in that had this kind of situation?
A lot of them have the shadows. It's all about the game time in the major leagues, because most of them are completely surrounded. So if you get a 5 o'clock start, if you get a 7 o'clock with the long summer days, first inning or two.
John Hicks to straightaway center, and a diving play by Mikey Matuk to rob Hicks of a base hit to center field. This kid with great speed covers a lot of ground. Very, very good athlete, and he made a sensational play on this one.
A full swing off the end of the bat. And the hard part about this play is there's no third dimension to know when to dive or what to dive. Side to side, you can read a ball a lot better than when it's hit right at you. And you can see he lays all out the passion that these young men show. Wow, in the heel of the glove, and it's stuck. Where that ball hit on the glove, you expect it to pop out. That wasn't in the webbing at all. That's a well broken in glove.
Terrific play by Matuk, who showed you the speed, closed on that ball rapidly. Hicks the second out of the inning, and now Valdez, the catcher, at 288. This kid is a free swinger. He's not going to leave anything on the bench. 48 strikeouts as opposed to only 6 walks this year in 156 at bats.
You saw it right there. He went for one right over his shoulders.
He likes a pitched ball.
Tell you what, he's got his defensive like quarterback wristband on. Even when he hits, it looks like it's a whole textbook on his left arm.
Fouled out of play.
Look at that, Mike. He's got your whole score sheet on his left arm. He probably he was reading that when he goes over the signs. It might not. The piece of paper might be out of there. He doesn't want Micah Gibbs, the catcher, to see their signal, so he slips the piece of paper out there. Yeah, when he's at bat.
Either that or he covered it. Goes after a slow breaking ball and fouls it away. When you see somebody taking, a free swinger and you've already looked at the stats, do you even bother trying to hit the strike zone?
No, you don't. You could even throw the rosin bag up there. You'd probably swing at it. They're dangerous because even if you make your pitch that they're going to try and hit it. You're not really going to fool them, and you're going to have to deal with the bat.
1-2 to Franco Valdez, and struck him out. So Renato gets out of a jam thanks to a great play by Mikey Matuk in center field, who laid out and made the play.
I'm Dari Noka. Here's what's happening on SportsCenter right now. Jake Peavy may miss 8 to 12 weeks. He's on the disabled list with a partially torn tendon in the right ankle. It's bothered him since May 22nd. Elsewhere, the Denver Broncos have named Kyle Orton their starting quarterback, while Brandon Marshall is a no-show for a second straight day. And Arkansas won its first College World Series game in 20 years. The Hogs upsetting heavily favored Cal State Fullerton 10-6 in Omaha. More on all these stories coming up tonight on SportsCenter at 11 Eastern Time.
To keep up with all of the NCAA College World Series information, log on to NCAA.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Bottom of the second inning, LSU coming to bat, leading Virginia 1-0 here at the College World Series. Mike Patrick, Oral Hershiser, Aaron Andrews, and our entire ESPN crew. Glad you could join us from Rosenblatt Stadium. 2 more years to enjoy this terrific facility until they have a new stadium here. Jared Mitchell stands in to lead off the inning. A young kid who was still learning how to play baseball. Tremendous athlete. Speed galore.
Yeah, it's interesting to watch Jared Mitchell, a first-round draft pick. Chicago White Sox, the 23rd overall pick. Reminds me a little bit maybe of Carl Crawford.
Yeah.
This is one of the fastest players in college baseball. It's a wide receiver, 2-sport star. Already has a national championship ring with the football team. Interesting how Paul Mainieri kind of relaunched his baseball career by having a conversation with Les Miles, the football coach, and said, can we get this young man out of spring football so he can actually come and concentrate on baseball? You're probably not going to have him next year because he's going to go in the top rounds in baseball. Les Miles let him, said it was best for the young man. And
this one's fouled back out of play. His junior season last year, Mitchell played in all 12 games as a guy who was buried a little bit on the depth chart. 9 catches for 106 yards. Caught 1 pass for a season-long 21 against Ole Miss. But his future seems to lie in baseball, and it was a nice move by Les Miles to allow him to have this opportunity. And let's check in with Aaron Andrews.
Mike, I had a chance to speak with head coach Brian O'Connor just a little bit about Danny Holtzman, what they talked to him about, you know, when he came into the dugout, and basically just told him, look, you've got your poise, you're not rattled, just don't try to do too much. I know you guys talked about during the first inning, this is a kid that isn't in awe of anything, very poised, wanted the ball today. But Coach O'Connor just tried to stress to him, you're fine. Don't try to overcompensate for anything else. And Oral, I know you mentioned he doesn't even take shortcuts, doesn't walk up and down the he does walk up and down the stairs, doesn't take the elevator, didn't even want a drink of water, didn't even want a cold towel in here in the dugout, just wanted to focus and regroup.
He is a special young man, Aaron, and they are extremely pleased to have him in Charlottesville. This is Derek Helenihi, who was the number 8 hitter in this LSU lineup.
Well, deny the towel, but take the water. It's going to be good for you in the 7th and 8th to stay hydrated.
I'm of the opinion you take the towel, you take the water, you take the elevator.
Take like some of that cotton candy with that, Mike?
You know, I had some of that 3 years ago. I had forgotten how disgustingly sweet cotton candy really is.
I'll tell you what, some pretty good advice though to Holston from Brian O'Connor. Like he is definitely staying down in the strike zone now. You could tell he's not overthrowing, and that pop-up action I was talking about when he was high and away
right.
when he gave up the 1 run is the fact that he's overthrowing, and he's like, I want to do this really well, you know, and he's got a lot of poise. He's right, he's not melting down at all. He's throwing strikes now.
Playable to center field. Parker is there. 3 up, 3 down here in the second inning. LSU continues to lead it 1-0. 1-0 LSU over Virginia as we go to the top of the third and as we go to Aaron Andrews.
Mike, Virginia head coach Brian O'Connor can truly say he's back home in Omaha. He was born in this city, grew up in Council Bluffs, Iowa, which is just about 10 miles from here. He told us great stories about getting autographs from all the players when he would come to Rosenblatt, and he even played college baseball at Creighton.
Council Bluffs, Omaha area is where I grew up, and also played college baseball at Creighton. It's very, very exciting to step on this field at Rosenblatt as the head coach at the University of Virginia. I mean, this is home, you know, for my wife and I. So, you know, bringing a team back to the College World Series is something that's really, really special to me.
O'Connor coming back here. He pitched in the World Series for Creighton in '91. It was just a magical moment when they faced Wichita State out here. There was so much local flavor, so much pressure, so much tension. One of the great experiences of my life was being able to call a couple of those games. And O'Connor is just so tied to the College World Series. If you see the beautiful statue outside, the bronze sculpture, this the road to Omaha, he is one of the guys whose likeness is depicted on that statue. And the sculptor asked his father to send him some pictures of players celebrating, and he liked the look so much. That's the likeness of Brian O'Connor on the right, and it's one of the great statues you will ever see that has a sporting theme to it. Really sets off the front of the stadium, and you know that that will be treasured and moved to the new facility. And hopefully get a place with a little elevation so you can see it from just about anywhere. Keith Werman to lead it off here for the Cavaliers in the third. The 9-hole hitter hitting .367. Kid who really fights to get good pitches.
You know, the last 4 weeks he's really fought his way into this lineup. Hasn't been a starter all year. It's an offensive move. It's kind of a scrappy 9-hole hitter that lengthens this lineup.
Well, you know all about switch hitters. In Little League, he was a switch pitcher. He threw a complete game, 3 innings left-handed, 3 innings right-handed. Wish I'd thought of that.
With the pitch count in Little League, I wonder if you get 2 sets of pitch counts if you throw with different arms.
Probably not, but a good thought. This one's hammered into the gap in left center. Tracked down by Schimpf, but an easy double for Keith Werman to lead off the third.
Oh,
they were playing him very shallow. Once that ball got on the ground, that was a double. Had triple written all over it for a second.
Well, he's got himself in line. You see the short, compact swing. He's busting it out of the box, and Virginia's had their leadoff hitter on the last 2 innings. Been able not to scratch a run out yet, but they're setting the table.
Werman does his job as the number 9 man, sort of a second leadoff hitter. And he is aboard for Jarrett Parker, who struck out to start the ball game.
So it's pretty important to have a good 9-hole hitter when your leadoff hitter has 16 home runs.
Sure is. And 65 RBIs. So somebody at the bottom of the order has been getting on form all year long.
You know, we're not in sudden death, but a man on second here, you're down by 1 run. You're not looking for a home run. You're looking for a ball to the right side of the infield, right side of the field to get him to third base, get this game back to square, settle everybody's nerves down in the dugout, on the mound. It'll help Holtzen. Getting this scratch run this inning, very key for Virginia.
Ball and a strike to Jarrett Parker, who is 3rd on the team in batting average, leads in home runs and RBIs, leads in triples. Even leads in hit by pitches and is second on the team in stolen bases. Only a sophomore from Stafford, Virginia. Both pitchers have been high an awful lot early in this game.
It's a tendency when you overthrow. The same thing that Brian O'Connor told Danny Hultzen. Fernando means to listen to that kind of advice. Stay within yourself. You can only be as good as you are.
Swing and a miss on another high fastball. Is that adrenaline at work?
A little bit. You just want to be an observer. You overthrow, so when you overthrow, your front side flies apart a little bit. You try too hard with the front side. When you do that, you release the ball a little bit too early and usually a little too high.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Parker as they continue to hit out of the shadows here at Rosenblatt.
Balls down.
Close, but taken for ball 3.
As an ex-pitcher, I would like that pitch.
Yeah, Renato wanted it too. He was out there kicking dirt behind the rubber.
Width good, height pretty good.
Mikey Gibbs was framing it.
Shadows are tough on the hitter and sometimes the umpire too.
Here's the 3-2 high and outside. 2 runners aboard to start the inning. We're in the visitors' half of the 3rd inning. Game 2 of the College World Series in the opening day bracket, and it's 1-0 LSU. The Tigers scored in the bottom of the 1st inning. This is a team that is used to coming here 15 times. They have made an appearance in Omaha. 5 times they've won the whole thing. Virginia for the first time ever. And Brian O'Connor, the head coach for the Cavaliers, said he thought the Virginia program was a sleeping giant when he took the job, his first head coaching job after 9 years as an assistant for Paul Maneri at Notre Dame. A visit to the mound for LSU as they try to calm down Renato, the sophomore from Jackson, New Jersey.
And Mike, was interesting when we had Brian O'Connor into our meeting. He got there a little late because he was receiving an award. It was at a banquet, and a few of the players came in early to kind of help get the meeting started. And we asked him what attracted him to Virginia, and he said the teaching ability and the integrity of that gentleman right there. Just a great place to come and get a great education, but also be taught, treated with a lot of respect.
And a beautiful city and a gorgeous campus as well at the University of Virginia. Gosselin squares the bunt, throw back to second, not in time. Gosselin has successfully sacrificed 3 times this year and trying to get the runners over. Currently nobody out, runners at first and second. Tying run at second, the go-ahead run at first for Virginia. Shows bunt again and fouls it back.
You know, Gosselin is looking at these high fastballs. You got to think about pulling the bat back when you're bunting. You don't want to pop up one of these bunts and have a high fastball be that you put the bat at the top of the strike zone and stay on it as long as the ball is below or at your bat. If you have to take the bat up, that's a reason to take. So you feel that upward motion in the bunting movement and you take the pitch and pull it all the way back.
Fastball right down the middle is hammered to right center field, but Mitchell gets over there to make the catch. The runner at second tags easily into third base, first and third with 1 out.
Tell you what, the guy in right field, Jared Mitchell, got some kind of wheels. The big league game is played at a very fast twitch level, and he shows his speed of how he's going to be able to play at the next level. First rounder for the Chicago White Sox. You know, he can take a circuitous route and he can still find the ball with those wheels.
And got himself in good position to make a throw as well. You got that kind of speed, you can outrun mistakes.
It's really interesting when you watch college ball. You see where people get drafted, and a lot of it's on tools, not stats.
Sure.
There are probably some people that were surprised that Jared Mitchell, who's batting 7th in today's lineup for LSU. He's the 23rd pick in the nation. They say a 7th hitter. Well, there's a lot of tools there, and he really hasn't been completely exposed to baseball with all the reps that he's going to get. It's an experience sport, and scouts are looking for tools as well as baseball players with instincts. And you'll hear guys that, this guy's a gym rat. He's been a baseball player. He's got all the instincts, not the tools. I mean, they draft that guy because he really understands the game.
Right.
And then you got the other guys with all the big-time tools.
Hultzen trying to help himself here. And the thing that complicates a player like Mitchell is when you're a 2-sport guy or a 3-sport guy, as a lot of people are, you don't get the reps, you don't have the baseball instincts that come with a fast learner. It's going to take you a lot longer in the minor leagues to get those skills.
And you'll get that. You'll get kids that with the tools, and he will learn the game and all the little intricate parts, the details. This kid's a hard worker.
And he can really motor. Hultzen, a ball and a strike. And another throw over to first.
Is it enough pressure? You got to start in the game, and then Chad Jones there. Another 2-sport star.
Love the hair.
You're just jealous.
Absolutely. I'm jealous of yours.
I wonder if he's a fan of Manny Ramirez. Got to go about another foot to catch Manny.
Yeah, pretty much. Ball and a strike to Hultzen, who is waiting patiently as they continue to throw over to first base. Well, is the purpose here trying to keep the runner close at first so you have a better shot at a double play, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, keep the double play in order. I'll tell you, this guy right here doesn't want to hit a double play. Freshman, batting 3rd, starting pitcher. I'll tell you what, he's carrying an awful lot.
Well, he seems to have the maturity far beyond his years.
Look at that tape.
Yeah.
I mean, freshman in the College World Series, you're down 1-0 because you gave up the run. 3 home runs, 33 RBIs, and you look at the stats. There's got to be 2 people, right? Nobody can be 9-1, 209, 3 home runs, 33 RBIs. Starting first baseman, bat 3rd.
What kind of a hitter were you?
What level?
This hammered to second. That'll get a run home. LeMahieu with a diving try. Almost had a chance for a spectacular double play. Couldn't quite flag it down, but still had the presence of mind to throw out Hultzen at first base, but the run comes home. An RBI fielder's choice.
DJ LeMahieu, what an outstanding play. They get an RBI out of it, almost sneaks it up the middle. That young man was a shortstop beginning of the year, didn't have enough range and arm strength, so they decided to switch and bring Austin Nola and be the shortstop. He's a glove whiz, but that young man did himself proud right there on that play. Good range, strong arm for a second baseman, because remember, he started shortstop. So that's a shortstop arm that was a little short over there at second. Easily throws him out from his knees.
Werman scores. Parker goes to second with really good speed and a chance for Grovat to drive in a run. He singled his first time up. Slapped it past the third baseman, Helenihi. This one gets away from the catcher. And Parker will advance to third base.
I think this one will be ruled a wild pitch for sure. Yeah, almost a hit batter.
57-footer.
Gibbs, solid catcher behind the plate. Young man just kind of spiked his curveball right there, trying to save that run. But that is quite a receiver and quite a solid guy you want to throw to.
Strike at the knees on the inside corner from Anthony Renato.
Grovac got a chance to put him on top right now with 2 outs and swing the momentum their way. They got it back to even.
This team has continually come from behind this year, and they play with the kind of confidence you would expect from a team that has been here many times before. They carry themselves that way, like we know good things are going to happen. Just give us a chance.
They got through Steven Strasburg. That had to boost their confidence. Then they beat a great team in UC Irvine that's been here. The Anteaters were here a couple years ago.
Another breaking ball misses.
You're going to get to this place, you're going to beat a lot of good teams.
Yes, you are.
You're going to play some tight games, and you're going to play under pressure, and you're going to have those moments where you go, oh, it's a magical year. And for some, the magic's going to continue, and for others, it's going to end.
Nobody gets a free pass to Omaha. Fastball hit down the left field line and twists into the seats. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Dan Grovac. 48 wins this year. That's the best a Virginia baseball team has ever done. And the credit has to go to Brian O'Connor, who knew he had talent when he got there. A lot of good ball players in Virginia, good high school system, and he is in the process of keeping them in the state of Virginia. Base on balls to Grovac.
Well, he's doing something right. He did it right away. He's 264 and 102 and 1.
Yeah.
So he didn't struggle very long.
No, he didn't. First and third, 2 outs for Tyler Cannon, the shortstop. Excuse me, Proscia. Really good RBI man all year long has been Steven Proscia. .332 as a freshman coming into this game. 0 for 1 in this one. Fly ball to the left. Fastball, screaming line drive, caught by Nola. Climbed the ladder as high as he could go and speared it in the webbing of his glove. Saved a run and saved a 1-1 tie. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series, presented on ESPN by Capital One. Speaking of 1, we are tied at 1 as we go the LSU 3rd inning. Virginia tied it up in the top of the frame with their first score in the College World Series. We are in bracket 1. Arkansas won earlier today, knocking off Cal State Fullerton. Virginia and LSU completes that bracket. Tomorrow, the College World Series continues at 2 Eastern. Arizona Sun Devils against the North Carolina Tar Heels, then Southern Miss against the Texas Longhorns and Augie Garrido. Back to the top of the order for LSU. And DJ LeMahieu to face Danny Hultzen, who was settled down after struggling a little bit, throwing a lot of pitches in the first inning.
Yeah, he seems to have gotten some rhythm now.
The Virginia kids were really disappointed that they didn't get to work out here the other day. It was rainy and they had the tarp on the field. A big disappointment for them. All the high school players and college players growing up, of course, see the stadium on television and realize unless they make the major leagues, this is the nicest place they're ever going to play. This is just a beautiful facility. It's improved every single year. And as much as we love it, it's going to be supplanted 2 seasons from now by a big stadium downtown. And the Omaha Royals will no longer play in this facility. This land will be given to the Henry Dorley Zoo, and they will build a stadium for the Omaha Royals a few miles out of town. So 2 construction projects going on, courtesy of Omaha citizens. And there is a base hit for LeMahieu. Straight back up the middle. $128 million for a 24,000 seat stadium. It will have all the amenities with luxury boxes and club seats, big concourses, and everything you would want in a modern stadium. And as much as this place has been part of history, even the best have to go sometime. Although Fenway Park and Wrigley Field can make an argument for you. Only so many different ways you can retrofit an older ballpark.
Well, and the big revenue generator is the suites.
Right.
And not a lot of the old ballparks have that. They try and put them on the underhang, the overhang, and they build them in, but it's just not the same as starting fresh.
Ryan Schimpf, who is 0 for 1, stands in. Beautiful curveball from Hultzen.
That $128 million cost reminds me of the new LSU stadium. New Alex Box Stadium they got to play in this year. That was the price tag on their stadium. Amazing. They drove over 400,000 people to their home games.
In 42 days. What was it, 9,600 a game?
Yeah, 9,600 average. I think they had 37 regular season, 3 in the regional, and then 2 in the super regional.
That's pretty good stuff.
That's real good. There's some minor league franchises, and I think every big league franchise draws over that, but there's a lot of minor league franchises that don't.
I don't know. I think there's a couple that are right on the border.
That'll get you ready for Omaha, though. You play in front of 9,600 loud Cajun fans there at LSU, eating the spicy food, coming out to the ball yard.
2 balls and a strike to Ryan Schimpf. Now make it 2-2 as he swung through that one. And I'm not sure Franco Valdez was either happy with that pitch or its location.
Both catchers wearing 33 today. A little bit of remembrance of Jason Varitek. Got the quarterback sweatband on, reading the code from the coaches about the pitches to being called.
Valdez is a catcher who is very animated, and if he throws down to first behind the runner, don't be surprised. He likes to do that. And especially with a left-handed hitter up, that runner at first can be screened a little bit. 2-2 to Schimpf.
I'll tell you, Valdez behind the plate, he is an emotional leader. The quarterback there, you see him looking at the code for the pitch calling. They say he's the loudest player they have.
Another throw over. Trying to keep LeMahieu close. He has 10 stolen bases this year.
Like math tables on his arm there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it was more than just the pitch calling. That's the play calling and everything. Yeah, what inning and what level signal they're on, so they can give the same signal, but depending on the inning, it'll rotate what sign it is.
Lined over the first baseman's head down the right field line. LeMahieu on his way to third, and they'll hold him up there. A double for Schimpf.
You give the hitter a chance to get the ball up and get the ball in the air, you got a better chance of touching that outfield grass. This ball is definitely up. It's away. It's got good location on the width, but the height allows him to get the barrel of the bat on it. Good break, making sure that ball's over the first baseman's head before you head on over to third. Don't get doubled up and get yourself a double.
Schimpf was able to turn on it and pull it down the line over the head of John Hicks. And now another left-hander, Blake Dean.
This is where you can get 2 runs with 2 outs. You get to just move the runner over from second. You get the runner over from second to third. You're going to score the run from third. It's not about getting hits right now to create a rally. It's about productive outs.
This is exactly what Hultzen did not want. And this will get at least 1 home line to deep right and caught by Grovat as he had to go back to the track. A sacrifice fly to drive in 1. The other runner advances to third. Good hitting job by Blake Dean, who just missed getting it out of here.
Well, good job just hooking this ball to right field. You can go back to the dugout frustrated it's an out, but you can go back there and get high fives because you did the right thing. The productive out is on the right side of the diamond. You get the runner over, tagging up from second to third. You get the runner from third in with the sacrifice fly, and you still got a chance for another out for run right here.
Shadows have, for the most part, have just disappeared, gone right behind home plate.
Now suspecting a tight game infield in here for Virginia.
Micah Gibbs. Statisticians will tell you drawing the infield in will add about 100 points to a batter's batting average. So right now we're saying Gibbs is nearly a 400 hitter, and he produces like one and drives in the run. Schimpf easily scores from third, 3-1 LSU.
Well, again, the height of the baseball, look up, belt high. No matter what you do with the whip, you get it in, you get it away. If you've got the height wrong, you've got a chance to give up a hit like that.
And a hitter in that situation just wants to put it in play on the ground. Hit it hard somewhere. He's got a real opportunity to get it through the drawn-in infield. This is Packer working in the Virginia bullpen. Lefty getting warm as Hultzen has been knocked around a little bit here early. Gave up a run in the first, 2 here in the third. And Mikey Matuk, who is 1 for 1, stands in with a chance to do some more damage. In the dirt, good block by Valdez.
He was quick like a cat right there. That block is all about your feet. He read the breaking ball, but he didn't try and glove it. He got out there with his feet. That was a great job. Think about Virginia bullpen, another lefty up. You think, well, why don't they try and flip the lineup or something? But this LSU team is really tough against righties. They have most trouble with the changeup.
Another ball smoked to center field on the line for a base hit. Matuk is 2 for 2. Gibbs stopped at second. Still only 1 out in the inning. And right now, Hultzen, the freshman, isn't fooling anybody.
Well, Danny Hultzen has gotten the ball up this inning, kind of a little bit overthrown. His location been off. This location was good, but he really hasn't established the fact that he can throw a breaking ball for a strike. So pretty much they know it's going to be hard or soft and straight, and the location hasn't been up. You see those 7 hits, and the no walks tells you about his guts, that he's going to come right after you. But the 7 hits, 59 pitches, that's about location.
First baseman Sean Ochinko stands in. He struck out his first plate appearance back in the first inning. Pops this one straight back on the net below us. 0-1 to Ochinko. Fastball missed badly upstairs. 1-1. Seven hits allowed tonight in 2 1/3 innings. And that's his worst performance this year. Ties for it. And we're only in the 3rd. Fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Sean Ochinko.
Now, Brian O'Connor looking out on that mound. Danny Holtzen, he's seeing a freshman that is very, very mature. You know, you'd expect 7 hits. You're down 3-1, a freshman meltdown. You know, the ball would just be going everywhere. No walks. He's still coming after him. He's still out there competing. Virginia comes back and wins this game, and he can get out of this inning. It's going to be his guts and determination of not, you know, giving up. You know, I'm giving up runs. Yeah, it's a tough situation. Yeah, I'm a freshman. I got plenty of excuses to melt down here. But this kid just keeps competing.
Well, from what we saw this morning, he is not an excuse kind of guy.
No.
Last pitch was another good block by Valdez that prevented the advance of the runners. 2-2. Took something off there and tapped foul.
I tell you what, now this is the pitch that gets people out. We talked about he only has a straight fastball and the changeup, but this changeup's got depth. Watch the movement on this, the free and easy. He's got the right location, and see that movement right at the end. If that's the kind of movement he has, now he's on top of his game. It's when that changeup's up another 6 inches and it's straight. That's when LSU's on it. But that was an outstanding pitch.
Still 2-2. Hit hard but foul.
He tried to throw the curveball there. He got that up. The hitter's eyes light up when they see that. He might not take the elevator. He only takes the stairs, but he's going to have to get the ball down.
First and second, still only 1 out here in the LSU 3rd inning. 2 runs home. Another pitch that's up and fouled away. Well, if you have enough speed and enough movement, that pitch up around the shoulders is virtually impossible to hit. But if you don't, guys see it so well and like to swing at it so much.
Well, he started this game around 92 miles an hour with all the adrenaline, but now he's got a few pitches under his belt. He's back down to about 88 to 90. Beginning of the season, he was 94. There's a lot of wear and tear on the young man. See, there's 90.
Fastball.
Those pitches he's used to blowing right by people, slowing them down with the changeup and then going ahead with 92 to 94 and to get by him. When you're only 88 to 90, it's more about location. And I'll tell you what, that body's going to fill out. You can see the shoulders coming through that jersey. Look like he's got a coat hanger in there. Pretty soon there's going to be muscles on those bones, and that thing's going to be a little rounder and fuller.
6'2", 190.
That'd be my goal.
Swing and a miss, struck him out.
Tip of the hat, young man, right there for battling right there. Made a good fastball in, good location, stayed with the pitch, drove it right in there.
Ochinko really made him work with a 9-pitch at bat. But in the end, Holtzen won the duel.
That's a special young man right there.
Now Mitchell with 2 on and 2 out. He struck out looking his first time up and has struck out an awful lot this year. 62 times he has fanned in 204 at bats. Almost 1 out of 3. And again, that goes back to a young man with a lot of skills who is still learning how to play baseball. And it's got to be especially tough against a good left-hander.
That's probably
you don't
why
see
he's down
many
in that order.
Yeah, you don't see many of those anyhow. Especially one with this skill level and on this stage. Holtzen has thrown 30 pitches in this inning, now 31, and 71 for the game. So even to get 5, he's going to need a couple of quick innings after this if they choose to come back with him in the 4th. A ball and 2 strikes to Mitchell. Holtzen trying to get out of a jam and missed.
With the double elimination format, the depth of your pitching staff comes into play, and there'll be some thoughts over there with Brian O'Connor whether to have him continue on or save some bullets for later on in the tournament. Even though you're down 3-1, long way to go in this game. You don't want to wear out your freshman star.
Sort of a balancing act, though. You don't want to give in and say, okay, this is over, let's just, you know, toss some guys out there.
Well, it's going to take a great effort by a lot of different people, so one pitcher can't carry him the whole way. This young man's going to make a big contribution on the offensive side, playing first base. They take him out pitching, he will stay as the DH for the next pitcher.
3-2, missed badly with a breaking ball, and they're loaded. Helenisi will come to the plate with a chance to break it open. He was a strikeout victim in the 2nd. It's a young man they decided to start at 3rd base in postseason because he had some experience as a senior out of Livermore, California. He has played very well in the field and had some big hits. .313 on the season in limited at-bats. Only had 22 RBIs and 4 home runs. But what a spot for him right now.
In college ball, you think this situation, wow, they can really put the game away, but it's so far to go in this game.
But he can make a lot of noise.
Yeah, we see 6-run leads evaporate. We see 9-run leads evaporate at times.
I can remember back in the time when they had not addressed the trampoline effect of the aluminum bats. You had guys out here hit and run and stealing, leading 12-0 because they knew 12 wasn't enough. And the other coach didn't even complain. He knew 12 wasn't enough either. In the air to center field. Parker, plenty of room, makes the catch. So they get out of a bases-loaded jam, but Holtzen gives up a pair, and LSU regains the lead. They hit it hard and often here in the 3rd.
The stretch from Austin Wood. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Swung on a ground ball that flew on the right side, a base hit. Coming in to score is Connor Rowe. The longest game in college baseball history. Longhorns win.
Pitcher Austin Wood was the Iron Man in that 25-inning game. He is with Aaron Andrews.
Mike, thanks so much. Austin, kind enough to join me right now. Of course, we're going to see you tomorrow night against Southern Miss, but let's talk a little bit about the game I'm sure nobody has talked to you about. Of course, that game against BC. Let me give you a couple of numbers here. I'm sure you've heard these before. 12 1/3 no-hit innings, 13 innings pitched, 2 hits, 14 strikeouts, 169 pitches. He may or may not have had some cramps, maybe got a little sick after the game. But when you look back at that entire night, I mean, what's the one memory that you have?
We won the game. We won the game.
Come on.
I don't know. I guess it's the fact that I was cramping up and I did throw up in the middle of the game. Just for me to go back out there and do my job and put my team in a position to win, it was an awesome feeling.
You got the cramps. You're getting sick. I mean, was there any point during that game you want to look over at your head coach, Augie Garrido, and say, Coach, come on, take me out?
No, I mean, at one point they were talking whether they should pull me or not. And I went up to them and told them I didn't want to come out of the game. And, they said, all right. and I went as long as I could, and Sherry came in and did his job, and Tucker got that RBI. We won.
I read where you had said your pitching coach had said, hey, let's just take it one pitch at a time. But when you're on pitch 143, I mean, come on. How much did you really think about let's just take one pitch at a time?
That's all I thought about. Really? That's the only way I got through it, is taking it one at a time. You know, if I start getting ahead of myself and start worrying about results, that's when I get in trouble. If I take it one pitch at a time, like Skip always talks about, you know, I'm all right.
Kind of a cool moment. Baseball Hall of Fame calls, wants something from that game. What did they get?
They took my hat and they took Tucker's bat. You know, it was an awesome feeling. I didn't believe my equipment manager when he called me, and I got to the field later on, and he told me for real, and it was an awesome feeling.
What are you going to keep from that game? Any memento?
No.
Oh, come on.
I took my favorite hat, but I got a new gray hat, so it's all right. You know, I got memories. Hopefully I'll get my jersey from that game after the season, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think maybe the Longhorns will make that happen. Thanks for coming by. Looking forward to seeing you and the Longhorns and Southern Miss, of course, tomorrow night.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
That's going to be quite a story to tell for that young man. You know, down the road sometime he's going to say, I remember the day when I went out and was just nails in relief.
Be interesting because he was drafted by the Tigers when he tells his minor league pitching coach, you know, I'm okay. Let me keep going. And they call the general manager and say, he wants to go 160 pitch. No. 80's good. 80's good. Half of that's good.
Very nice young man who stepped up big when his ball club needed him.
I'll tell you what, throw that many pitches, think you have a better seat. he's walking up the stands a long way.
Yeah, you got to get a box out of that, don't you think? That's a good point. Texas, of course, will take on Southern Mississippi, and Arizona State will face North Carolina. As always, we have some great ball clubs here. High in the air to deep left center field, all the way to the wall. Tyler Cannon on his way to third, and he will be in there with a leadoff triple. That ball just carried and carried and carried. An opposite field rip for shortstop Tyler Cannon.
They had him played around to right. You see the center fielder over there on the right side of second base, and the breeze is blowing out there to left center. That ball had a lot of slicing action, and you hit a triple to left center. You've got to have some wheels.
I was going to say, this kid runs pretty well. That was his 5th triple of the year. And it's set up for John Hicks, the first baseman from Sandy Hook, Virginia, who was driven in 37 this year. Another free swinger for the Cavaliers, and a beautiful breaking ball in there from Renato. They're back at second and short. They'll give up the run to get the out. Fastball is pop foul out of play. 0-2 on Hicks. Renato ahead quickly.
Up by 2, top of the 4th inning. You're going to play back, stay away from the big inning, trade an out for a run. There's no give up in this Virginia team. I'll tell you what, they've only gone quietly in the 1st inning, 3 up, 3 down. Other than that, they got their leadoff man on the other 3 innings.
Overmatched with a big breaking ball. Nice pitch by Renato. And Hicks is 0 for 2.
Big 12-6 curveball right here. You see the low target below the knees, and he gets it lower than that. Sharp break at the end. A little knuckle curve. Saw the knuckleball. He's got one finger on the ball, his middle finger, and the index finger is spiked up. Allows you to get through the ball and have that rotation a little easier with your arm angle straight down.
High fastball to Franco Valdez is fouled back. Valdez transferred from Broward Community College in South Florida. He struck out his first time up, and this is a big at bat, you would think, for the Cavaliers.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that triple, that leadoff triple down by 2. Danny Holtzen, the pitcher for Virginia, did a great job getting out of the bases loaded 2-out jam. So you see the action in LSU's pen.
Bertassini warming if needed. Breaking ball is popped to shallow right. Will drop for a base hit and get a run home. Sometimes it's not how hard, it's where, and that was perfectly placed by Franco Valdez.
Well, they reversed the order of the old baseball saying a bloop and a blast. They went blast and a bloop to pick up this run. Turnaround's fair play. LSU had one of these cue shots earlier. This is a curveball he tries to wait on long enough, finally gets it out there and kind of handles it out there. It all counts.
Doesn't it ever? Now Werman, the second baseman, with a runner at first and one out, squares to bunt and pulls it back. Werman doubled his first time up. And for Werman, who has not been used very much, that double was only his second extra base hit this year. The other was a triple. Bunts, got it by the pitcher, and beat it. Werman hustled down the line. Renato could not make the play. Ochenko did with Renato covering. But his effort to field the ball took him offline.
Renato's got to chase the ball, even if it takes you off angle. There's two things that people teach: an angle and go to the bag, or get the ball. You are fielder first. Even if you've got to give way to the ball and first base, it's better that you catch it. You can outrun the runner. And you see he just decided to cover the bag and give it up. That should have been an unassisted out by the pitcher. The bunt was so hard that if he catches it, he beats the batter runner. But he gave it up and went for the exchange, and that was late.
So Werman 2 for 2. Virginia fighting back again. Back to the top of the order for Parker. And a base hit would tie it here in the Virginia fourth. High fastball misses. And Gibbs wants to go out and talk to Renato.
Well, 2-0. Renato might be thinking to himself, I should have had that ball. And he's got to give way to that thought and get himself back in the present tense. Paul Maneri thinking about his pitcher out there. Can he gather it together? Both teams have done a good job working the starters. You see Renato's got the 3 walks. Holston's throwing strikes, giving up hits. Renato's setting the table for Virginia.
Paul Maneri had him work in mop-up duty a little bit in the World Series last year, because he told him, I want you to see this mound and get the feel of it, because when we come back next year, you are going to be the opening night starter. And here he is with a 1-run lead, trying to preserve it, 2 on with 1 out. Another high fastball, and they're loaded. Valdez advances to third. Werman down to second. Parker with the base on balls, his second of the game, is on at first. And Gosselin with a chance to do some damage. Bases loaded, 1 out. The left fielder 0 for 2 so far.
Remember, we said with the man on third with no out, then they had 1 out, hadn't gotten the run in. They'd be disappointed if they didn't get that run in. Well, now they're going to be disappointed if they don't get some more.
That's right. They have a chance for a big inning here against the sophomore right-hander. And we're going to have a visit. And they're looking intently. Bertassini in the bullpen. Make sure he's ready. And I think they're just going to stall a little bit right here. And the home plate umpire Steve Manders is going to go out and find out if they are going to make a change or not. And here it comes. We will check out the pitching change when we come back to Omaha, Nebraska for the College World Series. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series. It's presented on ESPN by Capital One. In the fourth inning here in the College World Series, Virginia LSU. Renato has just been pulled after 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. It was his shortest start of the year, threw 80 pitches in 3 1/3. And Paul Bertassini, a junior from Metairie, Louisiana, comes in. His 26th appearance, all in relief. 2 wins and 3 saves this year.
He's a 4-pitch guy. He is really an off-speed specialist. He tops out his fastball around 86, 87. But he really knows how to work the hitters, and he loves the pressure situations.
Well, if he loves pressure, he's going to love this a lot. Bases loaded, 1 out in the College World Series. Smoot. He's looking for a double play. Gets a breaking ball in there. Not the best outing for Renato. Everybody on base is his responsibility. 2 runs are home in his 3 1/3 innings. Walked 4 in addition to all those hits. Breaking ball low and in the dirt at the feet of Gibbs. Gosselin grounded to short, flew out to right.
Well, that was a long fly out too. Jared Mitchell made a nice play on that ball. It could have been extra bases, so he's feeling pretty comfortable at the plate.
A ball and 2 strikes. Bertassini quickly ahead.
You know, you're an off-speed specialist. You come in your first 3 pitches, all slow curveballs at around 76 miles an hour. And 1 more, 4 in a row.
Valdez at third, the catcher. Werman, the second baseman, down at second, and Jared Parker at first base. He's got the best speed. Swing and a miss on another breaking pitch.
Well, you can't say he pulled a string on him because all 5 pitches had strings attached. But I tell you what, when you throw 5 curveballs, usually you don't want to throw that many in a row because you're bound to hang one, and he didn't hang any of them. He did a great job being consistent with a very hard pitch. And Renato
got a lot of that,
likes that.
Hershiser 12-6 action on it.
I don't know if I can get my arm up that high anymore. I turned 50.
Now 2 out and another breaking ball. You got to believe in your catcher if you're going to be throwing hooks in the dirt, especially with the bases loaded.
Yeah, Micah Gibbs did a nice job right there, squaring up his body, getting out there in front, keeping that ball in front of him.
Danny Hultzen trying to help his own cause. He's 0 for 2, but drove in a run on a fielder's choice. Two balls and no strikes. Bertassini, even though he's a curveball specialist, 30 strikeouts in 23 innings this year, missed badly with that one. And it's 3-0. No place to put him.
A little different right here because he came in and threw 5 curveballs to a right-handed hitter. Sometimes as a right-handed pitcher, the right-handed curveball is easier to throw because you have a target. You've got the right-handed hitter's shoulder to throw at and you break it in. Against a lefty, you're kind of throwing it out there to a blank area.
Yeah.
Some pitchers like that and some pitchers not. He just kind of lost his release point here, just switching sides of the plate for the hitter.
See if this is a get-over fastball, and it is.
Which is the speed of most collegiate changeups at about 80, 81.
Well, you had to make the assumption Hultzen was taking. I don't think he'll be taking this time if he gets one he can swing at. Foul.
Got good movement on that pitch. The last 2, even though they were get-over fastballs. And I know we're saying fastball at 82, but he's 82 to 86 miles an hour on his fastball. A little two-seamer that got some run. Hernando looking anxiously on, hoping he can get him out of the jam, get him in the dugout with this lead still at 3-2.
With 3-2 to the hitter, 2 outs and the bases loaded, the merry-go-round will start. The payoff pitch to Hultzen. Hit down the left field line and caught with a diving play by Ryan Schimpf. Might have saved the game right there. If he dives and misses it, that's 3 runs. A saving play by Schimpf down the left field line, and LSU continues to lead here in a College World Series.
I'm Dari Noka. Here's what's happening on SportsCenter right now. Jake Peavy may miss 8 to 12 weeks. He's on the disabled list with a partially torn tendon in the right ankle. It's bothered him since May 22nd. Elsewhere, the Denver Broncos have named Kyle Orton their starting quarterback, while Brandon Marshall is a no-show for a 2nd straight day. And Arkansas won its first College World Series game in 20 years. The Hogs upsetting heavily favored Cal State Fullerton 10-6 in Omaha. More on all these stories coming up tonight on SportsCenter at 11 Eastern Time.
Now it's time for our Coke Zero game track from the College World Series in Omaha. 3-2 as we go to the bottom of the 4th. Hultzen went 3 innings. Renato went 3 in the 3rd. Both starters now out of the ball games, and Gibbs has gone 2 for 2 with a pair driven in for LSU. This is Matt Packer, who comes on in the 4th, the junior from Germantown, Tennessee. 3-4, 3 saves this year, his 30th appearance overall, with a 3.95 ERA.
As a sophomore, he was the NCAA ERA champion with a 1.14. A little down this year in that category, but relievers, it goes up and down.
1.14 is a nasty number, isn't it?
That's a pretty good number.
Austin Nola, the shortstop, will lead it off. A young man who was inserted into the starting lineup late in the season, and those changes by Paul Mainieri really made a difference. Nola, just a sensational defensive shortstop, hitting only .238 coming into Omaha, but they can live with that as well as he plays short. And that's not the way a lot of coaches look at it anymore. They want a lot of offensive production for middle infielders, which it used to be a situation with guys like Belanger and Ozzie Smith earlier in his career. You didn't care if they didn't hit 200. They were so good, there was no point. They were going to be in your lineup every single day.
And we might be getting back to that at the big league level, where athleticism and defense really are the key instead of all the monster ball, especially with now, the performance enhancement drug testing. A little less strength in the big league player.
Yeah.
A little less endurance.
And Nola starts the inning off with a base on balls. And this is the real big shuffle that Paul Mainieri went for. Nola went from the bench to shortstop, where he has really solidified the infield. LeMahieu went from shortstop to second base. They started turning a lot more double plays. Schimpf had been the second baseman. He went to left field. They wanted to keep his bat in the lineup. Leon Landry was the guy who was the odd man out. But he has taken it like you would want a kid to take it, and has continued to keep his head in the game and get some innings late in games as a defensive replacement. LeMahieu 1 for 2 tonight, looking to sacrifice. At least he was on the last pitch. Signaled his last time up with Nola down at first. LeMahieu only with 2 successful sacrifices all season long. On the ground to second with the runner going. Throw to second. Still got him on to first. Pulled him off the back. John Hicks stretched as far as he could not keep the foot in contact with the bag. And the Cavaliers are going to come out and ask about that, but it looked, we had a good angle on it up here. It looked like it was the right call, certainly.
Worman to Cannon to Hicks. Take a look. Worman does a great job getting the ball over there in a hurry. And looked like Hicks shouldn't have had any problem keeping his foot on the bag. And he just gets the toe dragging off of there. Probably stretched out a little too soon as he get going towards the ball. He just didn't get his first foot out there.
Ooh. Well, first baseman like to cheat.
Yeah, but he's got to take a little longer stretch then if he's going to try and cheat.
Yeah.
That was a little short stride he put on that one.
Well, Mayhew on a fielder's choice. And now Schimpf, who was the defensive hero in that last inning. Lefty against lefty, throws over to first. LSU holding to that one-run lead here in the fourth. Schimpf 1 for 2, including a double.
No matter what the innings start to look like, if they're going to build big innings or not, it seems like these two teams are going to play a tight game. They're bending, but they're not breaking.
Each has had a lot of opportunities, a lot of runners on base, chances to score, and have only managed to get a 3-2 lead. A little hair gel for you.
Wow.
Or is that all natural?
I gotta believe that's either strong wind or hair gel.
Took something off, had him way out in front. A ball and 2 strikes to Ryan Schimpf. Big RBI man for LSU, was 63 driven in this year. Tried to check his swing. The appeal to third, he did.
That was a good check. That was a hard breaking ball and a slide step delivery. That slide step delivery, then you see he bailed a little bit on the front side and just barely held that barrel back.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Packer with a high curveball, 3-2.
Hard to start the runner here because you may run into an out. You got such a quick step on the mound. And you got a left-hander that can freeze you. You're not going to get a very good jump. He's got a pretty good lead, but I don't think he's going to get a real good jump with a lefty here.
Struck him out, late break, and he is meat at second base. Good call, Earl. He did not have a good lead, and it looked like he was actually leaning back to first. Went anyhow, and it was strike him out, throw him out to end the inning. We've played 4 in Omaha. LSU leads by a run. It is 3-2 LSU as we are heading to the bottom of the or top of the 5th inning, and let's check in with Aaron Andrews. Aaron.
Mike, thanks so much. Joined right now by Virginia's head coach Brian O'Connor. Danny Holton gets out of that jam in the bottom of the 3rd. What was behind taking him out?
Well, he was already at 80 pitches, Aaron, and he had thrown 30 pitches in that 3rd inning. You know, and he just couldn't put LSU away with 2 strikes. He was having a tough time doing it, so I thought it would be a good time to make a change and maybe get some momentum going on our side.
He gives up a couple runs, but at the same time, I mean, Oral Hershiser's up in the booth saying this is the poise that Coach O'Connor told us about. What did you see about him battling back on the mound?
Well, that's what I've talked about all year long with this kid. He's got great poise. He pitches like a veteran. In this environment, the largest crowd he's ever pitched in front of in our first College World Series, I thought he handled it well, and maybe we'll see him back later on in the tournament.
You knew that this was going to be a tight game up against your mentor there, Paul Manieri, just two teams battling it out. What will it finally take to kind of break through against LSU?
Well, you got to get some big hits. You know, I think we've squared some balls up with runners in scoring position. They just haven't fallen for us yet. And if we continue to put runners on, I know those hits will fall for us.
Coach, thanks.
Thanks, Aaron.
All right, guys.
All right, Aaron, thanks very much. Virginia through the first 3 innings, or in the last 3 innings, rather, left 7 men on base and only 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. So they have missed a lot of opportunities early in this ball game, and it will be 4, 5, and 6 in the batting order here in the 5th with Grovat, Proscia, and Cannon. Grovat 1 for 1 with a walk.
Yeah, the story of the game on both sides is really just decent pitching, but outstanding defense that have kept the offenses in check. Because the defense, you know, the decent pitching has kind of set the table or given up a lot of hits. But the defense has really picked up the pitching, and the offense hasn't found the holes yet.
Been a couple of spectacular plays in the outfield.
Yeah, they've run the ball down in the outfield, some dives. Jarrett Mitchell in right field for LSU ran a ball down in the gap.
He's the fastest guy on the field. There's no doubt about that. 2 balls and a strike, misses with another breaking ball. And back to your point about a curveball specialist pitching to a left-hander. These are the guys that have given trouble the right-handers. He's been able to saw them off pretty good.
Yeah, he's been able to finish his pitches to righties and really get that bite. He's a little lazy on the curveball to the lefties.
High fastball hit on the ground down to LeMahieu, and he throws him out for the first out of the inning.
LSU's defense has come through. Out center field. Out at second base. Look at that LeMahieu going through there. And out at shortstop, a diving grab there with 2 outs. And in the left field, Shemp got it done in the dive there. I'll tell you what, they are picking it up and putting it down on defense. LSU, Paul Manieri switched his team's defense kind of midway through the year there. What is it, before April 21st, 28-12, decided to go with more D.
And boy, has it paid off. I mean, they were a good ball club before. They have been a terrific ball club since.
And he doesn't have the good fortune of skippering an organization at a school that has no following.
No.
He said, you know, I have to actually plan through this, and who's going to see it, and when am I going to do it? And because he's going to get second guessed when 9,600 home fans show up for every game. He decided that Austin Nola had seen enough. He's a slick fielder, a freshman. He watched on the bench. He felt like he had enough experience, was over the jitters, and was ready to go. And he slipped him in there at shortstop, and that started a chain reaction around the infield and the outfield to reposition the athletes. And it gave him a ironclad defense the rest of the year.
Proscia 0 for 2. And there's Nola at short. And he is slick. Breaking ball after breaking ball after breaking ball. You hear the old saw about you sit on the fastball and prepare for the breaking ball. But with him, it's the other way around.
Yeah, he uses his breaking ball to set up his fastball.
Yeah. Another curveball hit high and deep to left center field, way back, and it is out of here. Maybe one too many times on the big breaker, and Proscia, with his 10th home run of the year, has tied the ball game.
Even Proscia put a ride on this one. A little bit of an uppercut meets a curveball. You see him drop the head and uppercut that ball almost like he's hitting a slow pitch softball. And he had some power. He hit it a lot further than you can hit a softball.
Virginia battles back again to tie it, and Tyler Cannon stands in his last trip to the plate. He had a triple to left center. And Bertassini has been touched for his first run of the College World Series. Cannon now hitting .342. And again, Bertassini having trouble getting the breaking ball over to left-handers.
Brian O'Connor, pitching specialist when he came over to Virginia, but he's doing a good job in the hitting department, teaching these kids how to hit and gain some power.
They have more than doubled their home run output from a year ago. And this one is hit on a line into right center for a base hit. Tyler Cannon is 2 for 2. Well, I think the mystery of Paul Bertassini has been solved at this point. This is Ross, the right-hander, working in the LSU bullpen.
A lot of times at the big league level, Mike, a guy becomes a reliever because he can't get through the order more than once. He's got maybe one pitch that fools people, but then after the second look, they start to catch on. And sometimes some relievers can even only face 3 or 4 hitters because it only takes people seeing the evidence from the bench or the on-deck circle before they get used to it.
Well, wouldn't that be more applicable to the way he's pitching with the curveball?
Yep, they're actually are getting used to the break, seeing how often he throws it, going up there and looking for it. He's either going to have to make some exceptional curveballs or start mixing his pitches a little bit better.
And the speed difference between his fastball and curveball does not appear to be what you would like. 8 to 10 miles an hour. Doesn't seem to have that.
Yeah, he's been mostly about 76, 77 with the curveball and about 82, 83 with the fastball. That's pretty tight. But he's been a good pitcher for them all year. Guy they like to have out there in the pressure situation. And they got a 3-3 game, and there's the pitchers, you know, he said they're bending, but they're not breaking.
Another hard hit ball between third and short for a base hit for John Hicks. So they are starting to tag Bertassini. A home run and 2 sharp singles in this inning. Cannon stopped at second base, Hicks on at first, and Valdez, the catcher who singled his last time up, will stand in. Valdez, the switch hitter, will now hit as a lefty.
And remember, this guy's a free swinger, and he does have a slight uppercut. So if one of those curveballs comes down into a left-handed hitter, it could be trouble, because he's surely not going to be taking it.
And you see that 24 patch on his uniform. That is in honor of Jim West, the former coach and administrator for the University of Virginia, who recently passed away. And they wanted to find a way to pay tribute to him, and that was it. Still only 1 out here in the 5th. Runners at first and second. Virginia has come back to tie this game in the 3rd. Down to first, a throw to second for 1, and a snap throw back to 3rd as they tried to surprise Tyler Cannon, the shortstop, but he played it safe and did not round the bag.
We said Valdez was not going to be taken. He went out of the strike zone for this one, and this is the backdoor attempt on a double play. Instead of turning it second to first, you come backdoor and you hope that the runner goes around third base.
Two out runners at first and third for Werman. Now at 387. A little looping liner into right, and Virginia takes the lead. LeMahieu did everything he could, just couldn't quite get there. Boy, little blue pits have played a big part in this game.
Well, this was like a little topspin lob in tennis. Just kind of puts the bat on it, almost knocks the bat out of his hands, the velocity of the ball, loose grip on the bat, and just kind of places it out there. DJ LeMahieu, I don't know, one more step or one more jump. Which one is it going to be? Has to go for the jump, and just out of the reach. It's like it touched the strings on his glove.
Virginia with the lead. The Tigers will go to the bullpen once again, and we'll be back to Omaha in a moment. ESPN college baseball analyst Kyle Peterson will be on Twitter giving live updates and insight on all the college baseball storylines throughout the championship. Search ESPN College World Series on Facebook and become a fan to get behind-the-scenes access to video, trivia, polls, and discussions. The new pitcher, sophomore Austin Ross out of Shreveport, Louisiana. 5-7 on the year. Very unusual to have a pitcher on the staff of a College World Series team with a losing record, but he has not gotten very much run support when he has pitched this year. An ERA under 5.
We're going to see a little bit more fastball here. He's 90-93, 4-pitch guy. Pitched in a lot of close games. Had a nice outing in the regional in Baton Rouge against Southern. Recorded a career-high 10 strikeouts. 6 2/3 innings.
UVA leading for the first time in their first College World Series appearance ever. And it's back to the top of the order for Jarrett Parker, who was walked twice and struck out, so officially 0 for 1. Fastball for a called strike. Ross, who was the number 3 starter for LSU, but most teams try to go with 2 guys out here and use their 3 starter in long relief. Breaking pitch catches the inside corner, 0-2.
LSU in their 15th appearance here at the College World Series. 5 championships. The last one was in 2000. Virginia, as you said.
Did he hold up? Yes, he did.
Yeah. Virginia, as you said, on their maiden voyage.
It's gotten so much harder to get here. The depth of talent in college baseball from team to team is expanding every season, it seems. Tried to get him to chase again. Throw back to second base. Close. Gibbs is not shy behind the plate. One of the best defensive catchers in college baseball. He was a starter on the unbeaten Team USA last year and will play again this season for Team USA. Fastball at the knees, a called strike 3. So Ross comes out of the bullpen to shut down the Virginia rally, but not before the Cavaliers have taken their first lead ever in the College World Series on Stephen Procha's home run. That was number 3. They got 4 later in the inning. LSU coming to bat in the bottom of the 5th. They trail Virginia 4-3. Let's get down to the field. Aaron Andrews with Paul Maneri.
Mike, thanks so much. Coach, you said a little bit about your pitching, but hey, your defense has really showed up, and you made those changes. What are your reaction to those guys?
Well, our pitching hasn't been very good tonight, Aaron. This is the worst we've pitched in a while. Anthony had his poorest performance of the year, and Bertocini got us out of a jam, but then made a couple of bad pitches. We made a couple of good defensive plays, or it could have been worse. But then again, we didn't take advantage of some of our scoring opportunities, but there's still a lot of baseball to play.
What's the reasoning, do you think, for the poor pitching tonight?
I don't know. I'm sure it was a little bit of nerves, but, you know, Anthony's been great all year, and today he just didn't have his good stuff.
You mentioned nerves. You said you didn't know how you would react with your protege over there, Brian O'Connor. How are the nerves and the emotions towards him at this point? Are you still really good friends?
No. Our friendship will last a lifetime. We've put it on hold for a few hours here. We're just focusing on trying to win the game now.
Coach, thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
Mike.
Aaron, it's got to be so tough on them. They are such close friends. They were colleagues for so long at Notre Dame. They had a pact that they would not play each other. They would not agree to a series unless the NCAA forced them to play in either the playoffs or the College World Series, and that scenario comes to pass today.
But they're both glad to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Under
they would
awkward circumstances.
much rather be playing somebody else, but they'll take it if they have to. And the one thing these guys are competitors. They're certainly not going to let up on their friend. You know, they're going to try to. It's like playing golf with your buddies. You want to beat them.
Maybe worse than a stranger.
Oh, absolutely. Packer on for his second inning of work, facing Dean. Had a double his first time up. He's 1 for 2. This kid has been the best hitter for LSU for 3 consecutive years. He was drafted in the 10th round by the Minnesota Twins.
He has a very polished approach up there. Not a lot of moving parts.
He even makes loud outs. Line to left. Fouls this one back. Young man out of Crestview, Florida. Made the All-SEC first team, and you can see what a tremendous NCAA tournament he has had, an average of 400. First team All-American a year ago, and start out here in the College World Series. Breaking pitch, got him on the corner. The Lakers have a commanding 3-1 series lead, so it's do or die for Dwight Howard and the Magic in Game 5 of the NBA Finals. It's on ABC Sunday in Orlando at 8 Eastern. Our coverage begins at 7:30 Eastern with GMC NBA Countdown. More purple and gold for you to look at.
Amazing to me the focus that Kobe has. It's almost like he's willing that championship. Derek Fisher came through and put the Lakers on top with a couple 3-pointers at the end of the last game.
Boy, didn't he ever. Still hard to understand how he got that good a look at a 3-pointer at the end of the game. It's not like it was a surprise.
No. Might have been a surprise that he was taking it, but a surprise he had that good a look.
Hard hit and through into left field. Micah Gibbs with his 3rd single of the ball game.
Well, the LSU 4-hitter is on his game. He's got a quick bat through the zone. He's seeing the ball really well tonight. Just barely gets his stride. Takes a very short stride, almost Paul Molitor-like. Just kind of turns his heel up and down. Drives that ball through the hole.
And Mikey Matuk, who made a saving defensive play in center field, also has 2 base hits tonight. Takes a curveball in the corner for a called strike 1. So Matuk and Gibbs right in the middle of that lineup. The 4 and 5 hitters are 5 for 5 right now. Matuk with that great speed in center field, a saving dive earlier in the ball game to prevent a huge inning for the Virginia Cavaliers.
He had a face plant on that one too.
Yes, he did.
He sacrificed his body.
A ball and a strike to Mikey Matuk. M-I-K-I-E. His late father was a football player at LSU. His uncle Robbie was also a football player at LSU, and his uncles have helped raise him since his dad's untimely death in his mid-30s. This one's fouled back. Had offers to play quarterback coming out of high school, and that's his father is an LSU linebacker back in the late 70s and early 80s.
And he was about 3 when he lost his dad. You know his dad would be proud to see him here in this arena.
Well, you bet.
Athleticism runs in the family.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Hit straight back up the middle and through into center field. And Gibbs, the catcher, will hold at second base. So here comes LSU firing right back as they did earlier when Virginia had scored, and that's what you want to see.
4 and 5 hitters are 6 for 6.
They certainly are.
All base hits, not bringing the power.
All singles.
But they're bringing the singles. It's like a prize fight. They're going back and forth.
It's an individual battle between Gibbs and Matuk, and they are tied right now. And both on base at the same time. 1 out for Ochenko, who was struck out swinging his 2 times. Way out in front, pulls it foul. Bottom of the 5th. Virginia 4-3 over LSU. The Tigers with the best record in college baseball. They've won 51 times this year. And there are 5 polls for college baseball. And in 3 of them, they are number 1, but only a number 3 national seed.
Ochenko's used to big pressure at bats against Rice in the Super Regionals. He had a double and 3 RBIs. He was named to the NCAA Regional Tournament All-Tournament team before that. Before the Super Regionals, he batted .500. In the first regional, went 4 for 8.
He's playing first base, but was drafted as a catcher. And he smokes this one to left field. Way back, it's out of here on a line. Ochenko with his 8th home run, a 3-run line drive blast into the bleachers and left.
That was a fastball in he got beat with in his first at bat, and he didn't miss this one. Struck out his first 2 ABs. First one on a fastball in. He gets another fastball here in the 3rd at B. And he does what he wants to do with it that time.
Boy, that thing got out of here in a heartbeat, didn't it? Skip Bertman, the athletic director who racked up all those national championships when he was the head coach, leading the celebration here. Yes, they did play gorilla ball, and that was an example of the way they used to hit him. If that ball had any elevation on it, that would have gone a mile.
Yeah, it was a line drive. It was just barely, almost had topspin. That has any kind of backspin.
That ball goes a lot further.
And Mitchell tried to check his swing and couldn't. He's the second out of the inning and the second strikeout for Matt Packer here in the 5th. But the Virginia fans have been quieted as LSU has regained the lead, and this has been a seesaw battle from the very beginning. Back up the middle, another base hit, this time for Helenisi. First hit for Helenisi. A single back up the middle, and the Virginia bullpen coming into the College World Series had been absolutely spectacular in postseason. 40 innings, a strikeout an inning, and a sparkling ERA of 1.13 tonight. However, they have not been a mystery. The shortstop, Nola, down to first, and Hicks will take it at the bag and step on the bag. But the big blow came earlier in the inning. Sean Ochinko, line drive, home run, and LSU has regained the lead.
That day was such a wonderful day.
I'm Dorian Oka. Here's what's happening on SportsCenter right now. Jake Peavy may miss 8 to 12 weeks. He's on the disabled list with a partially torn tendon in the right ankle. It's bothered him since May 22nd. Elsewhere, the Denver Broncos have named Kyle Orton their starting quarterback, while Brandon Marshall is a no-show for a second straight day. And Arkansas won its first College World Series game in 20 years. The Hogs upsetting heavily favored Cal State Fullerton 10-6 in Omaha. More on all these stories coming up tonight on SportsCenter at 11 Eastern Time.
To keep up with all NCAA College World Series information, log on to ncaa.com, the official online home for all your 88 NCAA championships.
Well read, Mr. Hershiser.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick.
Each team has responded tonight after the other has scored. Now it's up to Virginia as Gosselin will lead it off here in the 6th. Hits it hard on the line with top spin, still caught by Schimpf. That's the second nice play Schimpf has made out there. Arkansas, a winner earlier today in the first game against favored Cal State Fullerton. Virginia LSU, our game right now. That's also in bracket 1. Bracket 2, they'll play tomorrow. Arizona State, North Carolina at 2 on ESPN. And Southern Miss and Texas will go on ESPN 2 at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Austin Ross out of the bullpen, working for LSU. It's his game to win right now.
He came in when they were down, and a little different feeling. Now you take the mound with the lead at the College World Series, double elimination format. That tongue knows it's a big game. Oh. He's licking his lips before he delivers the ball.
Hultzen, who was the starting pitcher for Virginia and is now the DH, pops this one up toward the left field seats, and it falls harmlessly out of play.
There's quite a story at the plate for those of the viewers that have not been with us. A freshman who starts the game. He's their Friday night starter. He's their third hitter. He's their starting first baseman on nights he doesn't pitch. When he gets taken out of the game when he's pitching, he becomes the DH. Rare and talented, special.
There's a different feeling being a pitcher and a position player. I mean, as a pitcher, you're obviously a pitcher and a catcher are the two most involved guys in a baseball game.
Down.
If you're at first base, certainly you get more action than outfielders do, but it's not like pitching.
It's a little different for him. It's a routine ground ball in the infield. He's not allowed to jog down to first base like a normal pitcher and save your energy. He's got to bust it. He is complete all-around player.
Three balls and 2 strikes to Danny Hultzen with Grovat on deck.
He's got a little Mark Grace in him from my generation. Kind of handsy first baseman type swing. Did the whole 2 hands on both ends of the bat stretch over the shoulders.
Lined and a base hit. And he chokes up a little bit on that aluminum bat. You don't see that very often.
No, little inside out swing, very loose grip, no batting gloves, very old school. Works the gum over real well in his mouth. He's got a little choke up, little hands in there. Yeah, very Mark Grace right there. Very John Olerud, some other first basemen that kind of take the ball the opposite way.
Tying run comes to the plate rather, in the person of Dan Grovat out of Tabernacle, New Jersey. 1 for 2 tonight, has his average up to 366. Very happy you could join us from Omaha, Nebraska for the College World Series, Rosenblatt Stadium. Breaking ball misses low. The beginning of the College World Series by next Tuesday or Wednesday. At the latest, we will have determined the 2009 national champion. But a lot of baseball in between now and then. Another breaking ball misses low. Two balls and a strike to Grovat. Runner at first and 1 out in the Virginia 6th. Fastball could be 2. Now they'll have to settle for 1. As LeMahieu down on his knees and completes the fielder's choice. As Hultzen goes to second base now with 2 out.
I tell you what, Mike, we're going to see a lot of great baseball. I saw the upset here earlier. Arkansas beats Cal State Fullerton. This game's going back and forth. Unbelievable.
Well, Proscia is a guy who has played a very important part in this ball game already with a home run, and he has a chance to do something else here with a runner at second and 2 gone in the 6th inning. Proscia with a line out, a home run, and a fly ball out. Fastball poured in there. Hultzen with good speed at second base. Proscia back in the 5th inning. To left center field, just over the 375 mark. That was his 10th home run of the season for a Cavaliers team that has more than doubled its home run output this year. Big breaking pitch by Austin Ross struck him out at the end of the inning. After the break, Omaha to the Bigs. Ryan Theriot on his path from the College World Series to the Chicago Cubs.
I played there in the minor leagues, and it wasn't close to what it was in the College World Series times. come from behind victory in College World Series, Rosenblatt Stadium, and what a great experience. And you have one common goal all year, and that's to win the College World Series. You know, we have that same goal to win this one too.
Well, let's check in with Aaron Andrews down on the field, and with Jim Hendry, we've got the Cubs LSU connection, don't we?
Oh, he loves the LSU infield there with Fontenot, Ryan Theriot, and DJ LeMahieu, right? That's the one you just drafted.
Yeah, we took DJ in the end of the second round. I'm glad to have him. I talked to him before the game, and I told him that we weren't going to give him a bonus if they didn't win the national championship, but he's real happy.
Yeah, can you imagine? Well, Jim, obviously you were the coach at Creighton. Brian O'Connor playing for you, good friends with Paul Maneri. So who are you rooting for tonight?
I'm not rooting for any. It's a great night for me. Paul and I started together coaching high school together in 1979, 1980, and Brian was one of my favorite guys ever, and then they worked together at Notre Dame. So it's a special night for me. I'm glad to be here, but both of them have proven they're better coaches than their original mentor, that's for sure.
And you obviously introduced Brian to Paul. Give us kind of a sense of what these two coaches are going through right now because they are such good friends.
Yeah, it's a tough emotional thing. You know, on a lesser level, playing against Paul when he was at the Air Force, it was hard. I told both of them today separately that, you know, give yourself a big hug at home plate after introductions and then just pretend the other guy's not over there or you won't be able to get through it.
And your big guy, DJ, right here with the big hit. You got to like that, right?
He's swinging the bat good.
And you have season tickets here to the College World Series. And obviously, Jim, Wrigley Field, there's no better place really to watch a baseball game. But tell us, in your mind, what makes Rosenblatt so special?
Well, it's a unique place. I was fortunate enough to live here for 10 years, and it was really a tremendous experience. The people in this town basically shut down for 2 weeks, and they give everything to all these other teams and their fans and the players and the coaches. Omaha's a great, great place, and I don't think I would have ever gotten where I've gotten without spending my time here.
All right, well, thanks so much.
Thank you, Aaron.
He's drawing a bigger crowd down here right now, guys, than you would imagine.
Oh,
Three little girls just walked up and said, "We don't know who you are, but can you autograph us this ball for our dad?"
Well, Schimpf just gets the sacrifice bunt to advance LeMahieu to second. And Ryan Theriot was very nice to make a phone call to LeMahieu when he was drafted, except LeMahieu's girlfriend answered the phone. He said, "This is Ryan Theriot," and she said, "All right, who's pulling this trick? This can't be Ryan Theriot," and hung up. That's not good.
No. I don't know why he's letting his girlfriend answer his phone. He's not getting that many calls. He needs an assistant.
Well, apparently he is now.
Yep.
The 3, 4, 5 hitters have done their job tonight. 7 for 8 with 3 driven in. LeMahieu at second, 1 out for Dean.
And of those 3 hitters, Blake Dean is probably the best hitter of the 3, and he's got the least amount of hits. The other 2 have 3 hits each, and he's got 1. So in their eyes, the guys hitting behind him, Dean's due.
LSU with a 2-run lead, trying to add to it. Breaking ball, hammered foul. When Dean is on and Schimpf in front of him, it's a very, very difficult lineup to stop. They score a lot of runs. And then, of course, tonight you've got Gibbs and Matuk, who are a combined 6 for 6 behind him.
Yeah, Blake Dean, one of the more polished college hitters you're going to find, but he started out slow this year. Through March 21st, beginning of the season, only 225, but you can see since he could have a large impact on this College World Series.
Didn't look good on that swing and struck out. Fooled by a curveball.
Yeah, he's had a double, a sac fly out there to right field, and then the last 2 at bats off lefties, curveballs that have really got him. That front side just gives way, and you watch that right knee buckle. He's not seeing the ball real well or understanding where it's going to end up when that swing gets executed.
Toughest thing for a lefty to do is hit another lefty, especially a guy who can throw a sweeping breaking ball.
Hence the platoon.
Yes.
Or let's become a switch hitter.
And also hence the reason a left-hander with a pulse can have a major league career.
Pulse and a breaking ball for sure. You can come in and be the one batter specialty left-hander.
Yeah, what was Jesse Orozco? Was he getting Social Security checks and a paycheck at the same time?
I don't know. Jesse was a friend of mine, so I'm not going to get on him like that.
Well, that's a compliment.
We're almost old enough now to get our Social Security, though.
In the dirt, good block by Valdez, who's had to make that play several times tonight.
Well, we've seen some good catching tonight by both catchers. The one up there hitting, and now the catcher behind the plate, Valdez, does a nice job tilting that upper half, keeping the ball deadened in front of him.
Yeah, a lot of guys will go down and block balls, but it's you see the guys throwing those shoulders forward.
Yep,
so that the ball is not going to come up and bounce over them. It's going to bounce into that chest protector or into their shoulders. Those are the guys who are special defensive catchers. Little check swing down to second base. Caught in the air by Werman. We've played 6 full. LSU with a 2-run lead here at the College World Series.
Capital One presents Flashback Images 2006. With the championship game tied at 2, Oregon State scored the go-ahead run on an 8th inning error, becoming the first team to rally and win the championship series after losing the first game. For more great images, tune into the College World Series presented on ESPN and ESPN2 by Capital One.
As we go to the 7th inning, if you are an LSU fan, you are going to be happy about this statistic because LSU is ahead after 6 innings by 2 runs. And on the season, when they've been ahead after 6, they are perfect. 45-0. And that means the guys who are pitching in the late innings are nails.
They got a closer out there, a freshman that was SEC co-freshman of the year named Matty Ott. His nickname is Matty Ice, and so he'll handle the 9th. He's got 16 saves at a 2.17. I'm sure we'll get to see him in a couple innings.
Tyler Cannon will stand in for the Cavaliers. A couple of base knocks tonight. Single and triple, also had a walk. Takes a fastball from Austin Ross, whose hometown is Shreveport, Louisiana. Ross making his first relief appearance of the season, had started 16 games.
I played at a stadium where we had to wait for a lot of beach balls, Mike.
Yes,
Dodger Stadium.
You did.
Time of game 2 hours and 50 minutes plus 10 minutes of beach balls.
Why do people bring beach balls to a baseball game? Our producer Scott Matthews said, well, they bring baseballs to the beach. No, I'm not sure that they do that.
California logic, Mike. You can't understand that.
Apparently. Tyler Cannon leads it off with a base hit to left. This is the kind of suggestion we get from the truck.
Scott Matthews always trying to get in front of the camera somehow. You should say commentators Mike Patrick, Oral Hershiser, Aaron Andrews, and Scott Matthews.
Not to mention Scott Johnson, our director. But they throw in some stuff we can use from time to time, and we are very grateful for it. And Tyler Cannon has led off the inning with a base hit, which brings the potential tying run to the plate in the person of John Hicks. Hicks wearing the collar tonight. Excuse me, had a single. No balls and a strike to Hicks. Cannon with good speed down at first. Chop toward third. Helenihi to second for one. On to first. Not in time. Nice stretch by Ochinko. Got out there as far as he could, and a pretty good pick out of the dirt, but they couldn't turn two.
And Helenihi made a nice feed to second base. He really unloaded, and Ochinko stretched out there as far as he could right there. They didn't get two, but they made an outstanding effort. High topper. Watch him unload this ball. Great feed there to second. Look at that stretch. Him out. Nice turn by LeMahieu. But not in time, but well done, LSU.
Cannon out on the force play. Hicks on at first. And Valdez, the number 8 hitter, the starting catcher. Even if nothing else happens here for Virginia in the 7th, they'll have the top and the heart of the order coming up in the 8th and 9th innings. Hit hard toward the Virginia dugout and foul. 1 on 1 out for Franco Valdez. LSU leading by 2. The Tigers, many people's pick to win the whole thing this year.
Well, if you're thinking Virginia can climb back into this with a home run right here, the next 2 hitters, Valdez is the one to do it. He's got 5. He's going to let the bat loose. Foreman on deck only had his 2nd extra base hit in this game of the year. He's got 3 hits. One's a bunt single, another little scratch single blooper.
Throw down to second base. Got it. Virginia is a team that has run very well this year, but that one cost them.
Well, Brian O'Connor thinking the same thing. He's going to get the table set because he doesn't have the home run power down here at this end. Maybe he can create a run. That slide, he looked like he was going to beat it, but he got him. Let's take one more look at it right here. It's a nice strong throw by Gibb. He just got him a little bit on the knee.
This one's hit deep to left, and it is out of here. Now is that caught stealing a huge play? Valdez with the home run to the opposite field, and it's a 1-run ball game.
And we said Valdez would cut it loose, and he did. And of the next 2 hitters, he was the only one with a little pop.
Boy, how things can change because of one decision, one pitch.
We got a little breeze blowing out now. Those flags are starting to swirl a little bit. There's some air moving out to left field. And you see that high fastball. He gets some backspin. He goes to the shortest part of the yard out there down the left field line. And that ball just keeps carrying. It got onto a cushion of air.
Werman dumps another base hit into left. Keith Werman, the 9th place hitter, is 4 for 4. How about that?
Scrappy little Jim Rat will do it all. Valdez pacing up in there. Got himself a solo shot because of the caught stealing. Werman, one guy hits it over the left fielder's head over the fence. The next guy bloops it in front of him. It's tough to play left field against Virginia right now.
It's no wonder Werman is smiling. He just had his career high, his 4th hit in one ball game. So Austin Ross gives up a blast to left and then a little bloop single to left, and he's gone. We'll check the pitching change when we come back to the College World Series in Omaha. Virginia has pulled within a run against LSU here in the top of the 7th. And the pitching change brings on a young man by the name of Chad Jones, sophomore, a homegrown product from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. He's a big kid. He's actually bigger than he's listed at 6'3", 222. He will be, according to the depth chart, the starting free safety for LSU's powerhouse football team this fall. He started out playing baseball this year, played the first 14 games, hit .350 as an outfielder, then had to go to spring football practice for 5 weeks, lost his job, as you can understand, and when they came back, the outfield rotation was going so well they didn't want to mess it up and thought, well, he's here, let's see if we can get him to do something else. Took him down to the bullpen, and all at once they said, hey, you got to come and see this. This kid can really chuck it.
This is only 1 week after spring football. Just put him on the mound, got him out there. They're playing Auburn, put him in there after 2 side sessions. Not even facing hitters, 2 side sessions. Got the bases loaded, struck out the next 2 guys. They took him out. The reliever came in. He left the field to a standing ovation.
Aaron Andrews, that's pretty good stuff, isn't it?
It's great stuff. And, you know, the crowd in that game and the LSU dugout absolutely went off when this kid was just throwing gas that game. And I just talked to head coach Paul Manieri. He said he brought him in because he liked the lefty versus lefty matchup. You talked about his Manny Ramirez hair. He's been called the dreadlocks of doom down in Baton Rouge. But Coach Manieri likes to call him LSU's secret weapon. Because remember, when they had him throwing for the coaching staff, they kept that quiet from the public and from the fans at LSU.
Oh, I like dreadlocks of doom. That's good.
Oh, and Paul Manieri told us the story. It wasn't hilarious because he was a starting left fielder when he got 2 outs after he struck out the second guy in that first game after only 2 sidewalks. He held up 2 fingers to the field and to the stands like he's warning the other outfielders, you know, how many outs?
2 balls, no strikes to Jared Parker, who was struck out twice and walked twice. Takes a high fastball. Let's take you back to that appearance against Auburn. Struck him out. Yeah, 2. We got 2. Let's get 1 more. Fastball right in there.
Usually a young man like this gets an opportunity after being the left fielder to come into the blowouts when the game is 23-2 and they need a pitcher just to fill in. And so a regular says, oh, I used to pitch in high school. I used to pitch in Little League. Let me do it. This young man comes out of 5 weeks of football, 2 side works, comes in against Auburn, strikes out a couple guys, and then the Iceman came in behind him and got the save.
Pretty good. 3-1 on the corner. Worman was about 5 steps toward first base.
I'm going to really tip my hat if he throws him a 3-2 curveball with that much pitching experience. 90-91 on the outside corner. 3-0 and 3-1 are more impressive enough. See what kind of pitch he gets. Fastball away.
Parker has fanned 71 times this year coming into this game. That is low and outside, and there are 2 runners aboard. Worman goes to second. Parker on at first. And Gosselin, who was 0 for 4, looking for that first hit. And Gosselin, the only player in this ball game who has not reached base tonight.
He has not reached base, but remember the home run he had to start the NCAA tournament against Steven Strasburg, so he can turn around upper 90s. He knows how to hit.
Let's see if he gets anything inside. He obviously likes that pitch. There's the fastball low in the zone.
For those of you at home that don't know who Steven Strasburg is, that's San Diego State's #1 draft pick. #1 of #1 by the Nationals. Has touched 103 miles an hour, and Gosselin turned him around his first at bat in the NCAA tournament.
Yikes. 103 is some serious speed on that gun. Popped up on the infield, and LeMahieu is there. So Chad Jones does his job, comes in, gets out of a jam, but The home run by Franco Valdez makes it a one-run game. LSU over Virginia.
Welcome to paradise.
Now it's time for our Coke Zero game track. Gibbs 3 for 4, 2 runs, or running an RBI. Ochenko had the big blow for LSU, the 3-run homer back in the 5th when they scored half of their runs, and Valdez in the last inning had a solo shot to cut the lead to 1. Story of the game really has been what Virginia has done with leaving 12 runners on base, and at least 2 in 5 different innings. So they have squandered a lot of opportunities. And this is the new pitcher, Tyler Wilson.
Tyler Wilson, his dad played in the Padres system. He's a fierce competitor on the mound. Tied for the team lead in wins this year with 9. And they're dancing in the stands. This game is tight.
And a really good ball game. Matuk, Ochenko, and Mitchell will hit here for LSU in the home half of the 7th inning. The Tigers up by 1. Wilson 9-3 this year. This is only his 3rd relief appearance. Or excuse me, he only started 2 games. Hit on the ground to short. Cannon comes up.
No, he didn't.
Quickly. Lakers with a commanding 3-1 series lead, so it's do or die for Dwight Howard and the Magic. It's Game 5 of the NBA Finals on ABC Sunday in Orlando at 8 Eastern. Our coverage starts at 7:30 Eastern with GMC NBA Countdown. Saw Dr. Jerry Buss the other day. He was very pleased with the way the series is going, as you might understand.
Yeah, their big men have really come up. Played Dwight Howard very, very well. Paul Gasol has played outstanding. Bynum has pitched in. Odom has been outstanding. It's been a little bit of the difference in that series. Shutting down Dwight Howard.
This is Ochenko in the 5th. I think those are probably more impressive to me than the big fly balls, those screaming liners that get out. Mitchell will be next for LSU. That's chopped off the plate, and it's foul.
Tyler Wilson, a very reliable setup man for Virginia. Been outstanding on the mound this year. A lot of these college games come down to who has the best bullpen. Earlier we talked about Virginia's bullpen has come through in a big way through the playoffs. How LSU started to get to them early. They've kind of settled down now.
Swing and a miss. They'll have to throw down to first, and just got him. Hicks, nice job to spear that ball and save it from going into right field and then being able to get back to the bag.
He saved Franco Valdez, kind of tiptoed like a ballerina. He slipped on the moisture on top of that bag, but was close enough. That's where the short stride stretch helped him out. He was able to get back. If he's doing the splits on that one, he's not getting back.
Nice play.
See a lot of those deep exhales here in Omaha after those plays that could have went wrong.
Mitchell has struck out twice and walked. So he's fanned 63 times this year. Guy with a lot of skill. And they'll refine him in the minors. The 23rd overall pick in this year's college draft. The White Sox took him. Nice play down at first. Back-to-back outstanding plays by John Hicks. Mitchell is gone, and so are the Tigers. We have played 7 full. It is a one-run ball game at the College World Series.
The NCAA College World Series is presented on ESPN by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Buick. The renaissance continues with the new 2010 LaCrosse. And Comfort Suites Hotels. Get all the room you need to spread out and relax. Book now at comfortsuites.com.
This is the old market area of downtown Omaha. It's a lot of fun to go down there and shop in some of the stores. Different eclectic collection of shops, restaurants. We are away from that area out here in Rosenblatt Stadium near the Henry Dorley Zoo. And an interesting move here is Lewis Coleman, who was the #2 starter on this club. 13-2 record with a 2.76 ERA. He's pitched 114 innings here. He will come on in relief here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, the SEC Pitcher of the Year voted by the head coaches, named first team All-American by the Collegiate Baseball magazine.
Now, he would have been the closer. That was going to be his designated role this year after being a starter much of his career. But because of Ott's emergence as the closer, he was able to stay in the rotation. And this ball twists foul.
And that's a huge thing for LSU. They had to rebuild their whole starting rotation. They had Coleman thinking he was going to be in the pen. He was able to groom Mott as a co-SEC Freshman of the Year. Coleman was able to be in the rotation. It really gave them some depth. And you need 3 starters in college ball to get through the weekend of your league games. And a good bullpen and closer. And you see right there what made him the SEC Pitcher of the Year. That little backdoor breaking ball. Some slider with some depth. Kind of a funky delivery. Kind of steps towards third base, throws across his body, and gets that ball to break down on the outside corner. Gets to the top of the ball just barely to give it some downward action.
Nice bit of catching, I thought, by Micah Gibbs, the way he framed that one. Grovat with 1 out. Virginia down to its last 5 outs in this game. Grovat 1 for 3. Not a true power hitter as a cleanup man, but he has been clutch for the Cavaliers all year long.
That's going to be something these Virginia hitters are going to have to battle right now. Try and set the table, not try and do it with one swing. The rarity at the end of a game, you get a pitch that you can really drive if you've got a quality bullpen on the mound.
Virginia has lost 9 of its 13 defeats this year by just 1 run. Boy, and right now, Coleman is getting the outside part of that strike zone. That ball had a lot of run on it.
His arm angle coming from that third base bag area. Looks like the ball's going to make it back. Might be getting a little extra on that corner over there because of the angle he throws from. The optical illusion that it's going to make it back to the plate. Gets the umpire's arm going up early and then stays out there on that borderline, and he gets it. Watch this delivery. That is a tough delivery to pick up early.
3 balls and 2 strikes to Grovat. Proscia on deck, a young man who already has a home run tonight. But 1 out and nobody on for the Cavaliers. The 3-2, a fastball popped into shallow left. Schimpf comes on and makes the catch for out number 2. To keep up with all of the NCAA College World Series information, just log on to NCAA.com. It's the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Ton of stuff there for you to read and go over. 2 out, nobody on for Proscia. Back in the 5th, he had a home run and is 1 for 4. Coleman has a little giddy up on that fastball.
He's 89, 91, but I'll tell you what, his delivery looks like a big league reliever. He looks like the kind of guy who's going to give a right-handed hitter a lot of trouble. When you make a big league bullpen up, you're trying to find guys with different arm angles, different looks. And this delivery will fit in real well. He drafted in the 5th round by the Kansas City Royals.
Ooh. Free pass for Proscia, although a painful one, plunked right in the thigh. And that's the last thing he wanted to do, was put the potential tying run aboard.
He runs that ball in there, threw across his body, just really didn't make it back with his delivery. That ball ran in there. 2 outs, man on first. You're going to have to keep him close in this 1-run game.
Proscia's a pretty good base stealer, 12 out of 14 this year. That one's cued off the end of the bat. Well, let's see if Virginia has anything going. Remember, they tried to run earlier, and it cost them a base runner just before the home run. They led the Southeastern, or led the ACC in stolen bases this year. That one missed.
And Paul Maneri with his protege on the other side. Brian O'Connor. Interesting strategy between the 2 coaches. They both know each other's signs probably. They know what counts. They've schooled each other. Paul Maneri, right, though, the mentor, held a few tricks back. Who knows when he's going to pull them back.
1-1 to Tyler Cannon from Lewis Coleman instead. A throw to first.
Is what you got going on right here. You got 2 out, a guy who's 12 for 14 with stolen bases at first base. You've got possible pitch out, possible let's attack the hitter and forget about the runner. Got a veteran pitcher on the mound that can do 2 things at once. You can control the running game and the hitter. You're always looking for a pitch to run on, or should I pitch out? And now you get 2-1. You kind of bind the defense's hands, and Brian O'Connor sneaks behind the edge there to give his signs. He might not even go for the relay. If I was in that dugout, the first base dugout, I'd give him straight to my guy on first. I wouldn't relay him all the way to the third base coach. I'd hide behind the edge and tell my first base coach or my runner. I surely don't want to send the signs out in front of the guy who taught me the game. Let him have a chance to break them down. Hide in there in the corner by the fan. The action pitch right here. If you're stealing, this is the pitch to go on, because 3-2, 2 out, you're going anyway. So this is the one. If you're going to take the bag without the runner going, this is when you go.
Hit on the ground toward the second baseman. Easy play for DJ LeMahieu. He throws him out, and Coleman does his job in the 8th. It's still a 1-run lead for LSU.
Brian O'Connor deserves as much credit as anybody for the success we had during those years at Notre Dame.
I'll tell you, when you work side by side for somebody like we did for 9 years at Notre Dame, when someone gives you their start in coaching like he did with me at the age of 23, he's my mentor.
We made a pact the day he left for Virginia that we would not play each other unless the NCAA forced us to.
Here it is now on the greatest stage in college baseball. So if it happens to be in the College World Series, so be it.
Boy, and both have a lot to be proud of tonight as LSU leads Virginia by 1 run as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. They both want to stay alive in this tournament, but they don't want to face each other again. Although at some point, if they're going to get through this bracket and into the championship series Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they probably would have to. Helenihi to lead it off, and that one off the glove of Proscia at third. 8 him up. Well, LSU has its closer, Ott, warming up in the bullpen. And Aaron, will they stick with Coleman or go with Ott in the 9th?
Mike, I just had a few words with pitching coach David Gruey as he headed down to the bullpen to check out Matty Ott. He said he wants to see how he looks down there, and he says depending on how that is, they may stick with Lewis Coleman in the top of the 9th.
He certainly was impressive in the 8th. I mean, some guys have rock solid rules. You know, the closer comes on in the 9th no matter what.
It's a little different at the big league level when you're paying one guy to set up and another guy to get your saves, and it's not bullpen by committee. But you're here at the College World Series, you got somebody on the mound that's throwing strikes. Doesn't look like the arena is affecting them, and you're going to hand the ball to a possible closer freshman. I'm not sure I jumped right away to that conclusion.
Nola trying to sacrifice. That's foul. The previous play ruled an error on Stephen Proscia. A hard hit ball that just ate him alive down there, kicked off his glove. Coleman waiting to see what his fate is. Of course, the other part of this, Coleman would be the presumed starter for Wednesday. Whoa. Up and in. Did it get him on the hand? It did. I believe on the hand. And Brian O'Connor wants to know. He thought maybe it got the bat. You didn't hear the sound of the aluminum. It sounded more like flesh. See if you can hear it.
And watch to see if he pulls the bat back.
I think that was the bat.
You really can't trust the hitter's reaction because the sound will tell you metal. The reaction of the hitter will tell you got hit in the hand, but sometimes when you're bunting, the impact of the ball on the bat, when it's that close to your hand, makes it feel like it hit your hand. So you will react like it hit your hand. Take a look. Bat's gray. Hands are white from the batting gloves. I think it might have caught bat and hand at the same time.
Could have.
That index finger that's wrapped around the bat right there. I can't see it. I'm just going from experience. Two times I've been really scared on a baseball field. Bunting against Dwight Gooden and Nolan Ryan. And that's exact kind of pitch right there because they don't want you to get the sacrifice down, and that's right where you put it. Yeah, it looks like it hit his hand.
Yeah. I can understand being scared in that situation. Up and in from one of those guys.
Well, you square around, you get your nose in there on the plate so you can make a good bunt, and then that ball starts chasing your nose.
Now Tyler Wilson will be at the center of that meeting with runners at first and second. An error on the third baseman and a hit batsman. ESPN college baseball analyst Kyle Peterson will be on Twitter giving live updates and insight on all the college baseball storylines throughout this championship. And search ESPN College World Series on Facebook. You can become a fan to get behind the scenes access to video, trivia, polls, and discussions about the College World Series. So Wilson now in a jam with 2 on, nobody out for the top of the order. We're back to LeMahieu. He singled his last time up and has 2 hits on the night. And you would expect LeMahieu's job will be up there trying to sacrifice again.
And I would expect that they will play for the sacrifice right here. Early in the game, both teams, when the game was in balance, we didn't know it was going to be high score or low score, and we're playing for 1 run. Here you know it's going to be a run-run game.
It would set the table for Schimpf and Dean. There's Schimpf, the left-hander.
And he could end up getting intentionally walked after the sacrifice.
No bunt, swinging away as fouls it out of play down the right side.
There's that same strategic battle between the two coaches that know each other so well. We're going to fake bunt. Defensive O'Connor says, well, we're going to do the inside move to make them see if we're bunting or not. Maneri says, let's fake bunt, and then once they think we're bunting, we're going to put the hit and run on. So there's a chess match going on between those two brains.
Some coaches love to move the defense. They feel they have a huge advantage in that situation. Breaking ball throw to third, and they got it. A poor throw by Valdez, but Proscia redeems himself with a great dig.
Well, the hit and run was on, and we just didn't get contact at the plate, and then we got an overthrow from the catcher who kind of guns it in the dirt, Valdez, and then Proscia saves everything by stabbing that ball and blocking the base. A breaking ball. See the spike throw.
Oh. Well, that's a heck of a play to get the lead runner.
Well, Paul Maneri really had a lot of confidence in his hitter that he could make contact. He probably didn't expect a breaking ball. He didn't expect a swing and miss. And you've got to have the players execute.
Line and through into center field for a base hit. Nola rounds third on his way to the plate. The throw is to second. Too late, and LSU adds an insurance run. So LeMahieu atones.
LeMahieu atones. Virginia got thrown out on a caught stealing, then got a solo home run that could have been a 2-run shot that would have tied this game up. LSU looks like they're going to run themselves out of an inning and an insurance run, and they come through with a base hit after a botched hit and run. Both teams get offense after botched base running and botched plays. One turns out to be a solo shot, put them down by 1. The other one gets them an extra run and gets them up by 2.
And Schimpf turns on one, drives it deep to right, out of here. Ryan Schimpf, home run number 20. And LSU has opened it up 9-5.
He tagged that ball right there. He didn't wait to see many pitches. He said, I'm going right after the first one. He hits it out of here. And Mike, lesson learned, maybe we'll just let the players win or lose the game. Forget all the pickoffs and bunts, and let's start a hit and run.
Sometimes you outsmart yourself, don't you?
If it works, and you help the players along, and maybe you just need to sit there and watch.
Schimpf at 5'9", 180 really generates a lot of bat speed. This one goes to the backstop, and Dean is the hitter.
Well, I think the bullpen decision is over. I think you get Matty Ott his first inning in a College World Series, even though he had 16 saves and he has been your closer. He's Matty Ice. But there's no reason to let Lewis Coleman go back out and let him start and let this young man get his first inning and with a 4-run lead compared to that 1-run lead.
Yeah, there's no sense to burn another 10-15 pitches out of Coleman's arm at this point.
When it was a 1-run game and you've got him out there on the hill looking comfortable, SEC pitcher of the year, I'm thinking, yeah, Ott backs him up and he goes back out there. But now
I think he's in the game.
Ball hit wide of first to the pitcher covering. Wilson records the out. 2 gone. Virginia's bullpen had been nothing short of sensational in the postseason this year, coming into the series in Omaha. 40 innings, allowing an ERA of only 1.13. 30 hits in 40 innings. Tonight they have been shelled 4 2/3, 6 earned runs on 7 hits. Fastball on the corner to Micah Gibbs.
I think if you talk to both coaches, they'd say they're pitching underachieved tonight. Paul Mainieri was upset when Aaron interviewed him earlier about the pitching.
Gibbs just foul. Hard hit outside first.
Danny Holzen, who started for Virginia, came in with a 9-1 record and a 2.09 ERA. Gave up the most hits in a game he's ever given up. Still battled on the mound. He kept his team in the game. And then when Matt Packer and Tyler Wilson got in, the rest of the bullpen, it just didn't go well for them. There's a look at Danny Holzman.
Neither starter lasted past 3 1/3.
Working that gum over. That's a lot of responsibility for a young freshman. Hit third, play first base, start the game.
Little line on one bounce to second. Werman throws him out. The inning is over, but the damage is done. And here comes the LSU closer. And the big blow in the inning, the big blow in the ball game. Schimpf. The bomb to right. LSU with insurance runs going to the 9th. Welcome back to ESPN's coverage of the NCAA College World Series, presented on ESPN by Capital One. It's been a good one, too. LSU leads it going to the 9th against the Cavaliers of Virginia. The Tigers on top 9-5. And LSU will trot out its closer, Matty Ott, who has a school record 16 saves this year to go along with a 3-2 record and a 2.17 ERA.
SEC co-freshman of the year, freshman All-American, third-team All-American, all-time LSU season save leader already. Not a lot of velocity, but a lot of movement. And Paul Mainieri says the most mound composure I've seen in any freshman I've ever had.
And his emergence was huge because it allowed Coleman to remain in the starting rotation, giving them 2 studs at the top. And certainly if you've got 16 saves and 3 wins, you're doing your job and more. And he'll face the bottom of the order. Hicks, Valdez, and Werman are the scheduled hitters. And Virginia needs a big rally here. They need to get something started just to get back to the top of the order. And this is not normally the guy you can do well against. Opponents hitting .242 off of Matty Ott this year.
Well, he's been through the wars. When you have 16 saves and you're in the SEC and your home attendance is 9,600 average, you've drawn over 400,000. He's felt the pressure. He's not going to melt down because it's Omaha.
Although the crowd here, 24,000 plus tonight, almost 25, which is a session record. But you're right, where a lot of schools are playing in front of hundreds, maybe a couple of thousand if they're very successful programs. 9,600, I believe the capacity at the new stadium was listed as 92, so they got standing room only as
the 9,600 LSU can sound like 24,000.
Oh, that's true too. Popped up, foul territory, and Hicks has a play. Now it's time for our Pontiac game-changing performance, and it was Ochenko who turned this game around with a line drive home run.
That 3-run homer in the 5th really was a blow to Virginia, and they never recovered.
Turn.
3 strikeouts and a home run. I had a teammate named Kirk Gibson who said, I might look sick 3 times, but I'll get you in my 4th at bat, and it will count. And that's the kind of night Ochenko had.
You just can't help but hear that name and think of the pinch hit home run. I mean,
off of Dennis Eckersley in the 1988 World Series.
Image that immediately flashes to your
one at bat in the World Series. He hit 1,000. It was only a home run. Only. And won the game and turned the series already in the first game.
You want storybook? You got it. This one is into the gap in right center. Hard hit. It's going to roll to the wall. And Valdez easily into second base. Can Virginia get something started here in the 9th against the closer? Micah Gibbs, tonight's Capital One player of the game. Just 3 for 5, 2 RBIs, a run, and a really nice job of catching behind the plate. Blocked a lot of balls in the dirt.
He got player of the game tonight with his bat and the catching skills behind the plate. He was the 2009 All-SEC defensive team catcher on the SEC, voted by the head coaches. Had a 14-game hitting streak this year.
And I'll guarantee you one thing. It may be tough to pick the winner out here, but you do not win in Omaha of all the years I've been coming out here without quality catching, a quality shortstop, and quality center field. Baseball is a game you have to be strong up the middle. These guys are incredibly strong up the middle. Nice play on the run by Tyler Cannon. Excuse me, by Austin Nola, and throws out the second out of the inning. And Virginia's down to its last out. The LSU fans anticipating. Will the SEC go 2-0 on opening day?
SEC-ACC battle. Looks like SEC's coming up on top. But remember, this is a double elimination. Virginia is not going home. You have to lose 2 before you go home.
Parker walked his last time up. He's behind 0-2. Looked like a generous strike zone on that last call. Gazot had a lot of run on it. The closer trying to close it and just had this one tipped foul.
Well, Matty Ice on the mound, LSU's single season saves leader all time now.
What a tremendous 16 ratio of strikes to walks, strikeouts to walks, 63-4. He doesn't walk anybody, and again, just barely staying alive as Parker.
He's not worried about the corners either. He's coming right at you down the middle of the plate with movement. If the fastball's coming down the middle, it's going to move to a corner. The breaking ball, it's a slider with good depth. I'm coming down the middle. He's not fooling around.
That's what you want, isn't it?
Yep.
Just come out of the bullpen attacking. Missed. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Virginia's last hope, Jarrett Parker.
I remember the best closer we've ever saw, Joshua Fields, last year for Georgia. Ooh, boy, was he good. We're going to see some outstanding talent the rest of this College World Series.
Struck him out. Ott comes on to shut it down, and LSU wins here in Omaha as close friends battle each other. Paul Mainieri and Brian O'Connor, they said they didn't want this to happen. They didn't want to play each other unless they had to at the mandate of the NCAA. That's the way the chips fell here in the College World Series.
So the teacher beats the student tonight, but there's still a goal for Virginia to stay in this.
Not just respect, but a great deal of affection between those two guys. They are both terrific baseball coaches. So Arkansas and LSU move ahead with wins. Virginia and Cal State Fullerton are the opening round victims. Tomorrow in bracket 2, you'll see Arizona State with 5 national championships facing North Carolina. Texas with 6 hosting Southern Mississippi. The final score tonight, LSU 9, Virginia 5. Next on ESPN, it's SportsCenter. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Along with Oral Hershiser, Aaron Andrews, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Good night from the College World Series. Thank you for watching. Now, here's SportsCenter.